on top of this drone. And ultimately, one of the two fighter jets struck the propeller of this U.S. Reaper drone, forcing it to ditch in the Black Sea, just off the Crimean Peninsula.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Kyiv. President Biden has been briefed on the incident, which White House officials call reckless and unprofessional. The U.S. says the drone was in international airspace. Russia reportedly denies any contact with the drone and claims the aircraft went into uncontrolled flight because of sharp maneuvering. Ohio is suing the Norfolk Southern Railroad over last month's toxic train derailment.
I'm concerned that Norfolk Southern may be putting profits for their own company above the health and safety of the cities and communities that they operate in.
Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost announcing a 53-count federal lawsuit. The railroad already faces a class action lawsuit involving residents concerned about potential long-term effects on health and other issues. The company has pledged a full cleanup in East Palestine. President Biden is wrapping up a visit to California with an executive order aimed at increasing background checks on gun buyers and expanding the use of red flag laws. He is set to speak later this hour in Monterey Park, where 11 people were killed in a mass shooting at a Boys and Girls Club in January. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
How to prepare for the unexpected. 36 degrees, a few clouds downtown, all clear under radar, low of 21 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. March is often a month where the weather can be unpredictable in the Hoosier State. That's why Joe Neild with the National Weather Service says,
now is the time to be reviewing your safety plans, both at home and at your place of business. Taking a moment to practice those.
This week is Severe Weather Preparedness Week. Serves as a nice reminder. One Jasper County crash turned into two with serious injuries after a semi-truck rolled over on I-65 Monday. Parker Carlson reports.
A couple hours into cleaning up the semi-rollover, a driver of a box truck didn't see that traffic was stopped in front of him, and he crashed into a Subaru. The accident cascaded, crushing the sedan, hitting a pickup truck in front of it, which then rear-ended a tractor trailer. The driver of the Subaru was extracted from the wreck with serious injuries. A 4-year-old boy was later transferred to a children's hospital in Chicago to treat life-threatening injuries, but the driver of the box truck wasn't hurt. State police are now investigating the crash for potential charges. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An arrest has been made in a fatal shooting outside of Greenwood Restaurant last week. Timothy Sanito was shot and killed in the Ale Emporium parking lot. Witnesses told police an argument started between him and Marco Antonio Gonzalez before Gonzalez pulled out a gun and pulled its trigger. He was tracked down by the cops and is now in the Johnson County Jail on a charge of murder. The average price for gas in Indiana today, $3.36 per gallon of regular, says Gas Buddy, down 1 cent from where it was a day ago. It was a tough game for the Pacers Monday, who lost to Detroit by 20. Point guard George Hill says it wasn't easy playing away from home.
You have a sense of urgency, especially when you're at home with your crowd and you make a couple shots and your crowd get behind you. And that's what they did tonight. You know, they got off to a really hot start and they kept it rolling.
The Pacers trailed by as many as 31 points in the loss. They're back in action against Milwaukee Thursday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
My name is Ainsley Flannery, and I am the Eastside Volunteer Coordinator for Agape Therapeutic Riding Center, and I nominated Ava Courtney for Jiffy Lube's Drive to Do More Award.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
I'm Ava Courtney. The main thing I enjoy is serving at the barn, being with the horses, and serving my community. By receiving a year's worth of vehicle maintenance, it allows me to continue coming here and can rely on my local Jiffy Lube to make sure my car is running properly.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more, as well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
Jiffy Lube accepts competitors' coupons, so you don't have to choose between saving a few dollars versus treating your vehicle to Jiffy Lube's award-winning service. Click on JiffyLubeIndiana.com for a Jiffy Lube near you.
Traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, if you're stuck on the northeast side on westbound 465, it's because of medical emergency. But that medical emergency has cleared at Allisonville Road. We are still stopping. Go back to East 56. Inbound 69 taking a shove here slow from 96th Street down to 465. And eastbound 465 slow after Keystone to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store, staplesconnect.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Should be a cold but bright day. Our high temperatures top out in the upper 30s with feel-like temps in the upper 20s. Lows tonight bottom out at 20 degrees, and we're going to hit a high of 50 on Wednesday with a mostly sunny sky. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8 Stephanie Meade for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's... We got the gang all here. Yep. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige. Nigel is here.
Hey now.
Producer Allison is here. We got Matt Bear, Harrison Silcox. The only person we're missing is wheeling, dealing, hair sniffing, kiss stealing Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
If I'm elected, we're going to cure cancer.
The president has a big dick.
So, the inflation numbers are out. Some would call it Bidenflation, Nige.
How they doing? Are we down? Are we good? Are we back to pre-Trump levels?
Oh, Nigel, you and your drugs. The CPI plus 6% year over year. So, what does that mean for everyday products and services? Let's break this down here.
It means my turkey from the delis double in price. That's what it means.
That it does. So, electricity plus 12.9%, which is weird because Karine said that Joe Biden's economy had these numbers down. Weird. Natural gas up 14.3% year over year. Groceries, your turkey, you're talking about, Nige, plus 10.2%. Chicken, plus 8.8%. Milk, plus 8.1% year over year. And here's the big one. Eggs, plus 55.4% year over year.
That is nuts. That is absolutely crazy.
55%.
And by the way, get ready for another interest rate hike, courtesy of the Fed. Although I couldn't imagine them doing that. Maybe take a break on these hikes during this. The banking system is under such pressure right now. But I think you can expect another hike from the Fed here before too long.
For your sandwiches, you were talking about, Nigel, like a good turkey sando?
Like a pound of turkey, on average, used to cost $7-8. It's 12 to 14 now.
And if you want bread on it, well, you better take out a loan because bread's up 15.8%.
I've been trying to cut out the carbs, though.
Oh, so good for you.
What I do is I set the turkey in a round piece of Colby Jack cheese and eat it like a little turkey taco.
And then you come in here and have 3 beers. Because you're a health nut.
That's very generous that you said 3.
3 that I know of. Baby food, for those who can find it, plus 9.8%. And this is something that I've noticed because I'm a guy that likes to travel. I like to go to Vegas. I like to go to Florida. I got to be honest. I'm getting old and my kids are getting older. I'm running out of time for family vacations. Mm-hmm. So we've been doing a lot. Airline fares. Have you guys noticed this? Ridiculous. Plus 26.5% compared to this time last year.
Inflation, 40-year highs. We're sending billions to Ukraine. We're bailing out Silicon Valley. We're passing massive spending legislation. Turns out printing money and just handing it out to people, printing money that we don't have, might be sort of a bad idea.
And keep in mind, your president takes absolutely, positively no responsibility.
Are you taking blame for inflation? No.
Why not?
Because it was already there when I got here, man.
I mean, they're just lying to your face at this point. There's no way you can bend the truth. That ship has sailed. They're just lying to your face now. Real average hourly wages are down 1.3% year over year. So what that means is, compared to the inflation, your wages down. It's the great American pay cut, and Captain Applesauce Brains is the one driving the boat here. Now, Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina. There's a lot of folks that feel like he's about to dip that toe in the water to see about a possible presidential run. He went on Fox this morning and says that Bidenflation had a big hand in breaking the Silicon Valley Bank.
The bank failed for three specific reasons. Number one, the bank executives failed on their responsibilities. They bet on low interest rates while the Fed was increasing interest faster than any other time in the last 3 or 4 decades. Number two, the regulators were asleep at the wheel. And number three, the Biden administration's policies of printing and spending trillions of dollars led to a 40-year high inflation. The Fed comes in to slow that inflation by increasing interest rates, devastating to the average person in this country. Remember, the average household has around $5,000 to $10,000 in their average bank account. They're now going to have to subsidize people who had up to $5 million in their accounts.
Imagine, here's the deal with the inflation and employment. I mean, the employment is still through the roof. I mean, there's lots of jobs being added, and the Fed thinks that's a bad thing, which it is when you're trying to quell inflation. And that's why they keep on raising the interest rates. It's slow the employment growth.
And the other thing that I'm taking away from the last 24, 36 hours is that it wasn't just one single reason why Silicon Valley Bank and maybe even Signature Bank have had a hard time. It's a number of reasons, whether you want to talk about the economy, Bidenflation, but there's also some good old-fashioned God-fearing bad decision-making.
Yeah, well, when you buy all those bonds and securities during COVID and you're flush with cash and then you have to sell them at a loss when interest rates skyrocket, yeah, that's bad foresight, for sure. You knew the interest rates were going to go up on that.
We are checking in with Joe Biden, and Biden expected to sign a new executive order some point today that could affect the future of gun purchases. We need to have Guy Relford in here for this because this kind of came out of left field. The order will be an effort to increase the number of background checks needed to purchase a firearm and encourage more secure storage of the firearm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see this as having a lot of teeth, quite frankly. This whole thing about him signing an executive order got leaked out. One quote said, he's working on a plan to better structure the government to support communities suffering from gun violence. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. This is what he's ginning up his base. They're all pissed at him right now because he wants to open up a couple drilling projects in Alaska, and this is another distraction. But don't expect assault rifle bans or massive gun confiscation. Of course, that would be tied up in court for years and years. This is window dressing. It's nothing.
And it's a photo op because he's expected to sign this in Monterey Park, California. That's the site where they had that New Year shooting back in January, the Lunar New Year, where 11 people lost their lives. Again, just making it more difficult for law-abiding citizens to try to get their firearm. But he gets a good photo op, and he gets the gun grabbers off of his backside for a little bit. Before we hit a break here, this story, I see the good in it, but at the same time, I have so low expectations. So President Jimmy Carter, kind of in his final days.
Oh, he's at hospice, isn't he?
He's at home in hospice care, and Jimmy Carter has asked Joe Biden to deliver his eulogy when he ultimately passes away. Now, one Democratic president to another, okay, fine. But let's be honest, this has got disaster written all over it, right? Have you seen Joe Biden in these types of situations? Like, could you put it past Joe Biden to walk up to the casket and go, "Where's Jimmy?" The way that he did with Jackie Wolarski.
I can see him looking at his watch no less than 50 times during the funeral and the eulogy.
This is not what he is good at. This has got disaster written all over it. So close your eyes for just a moment. This is how I visualize Joe Biden handling a speech at a funeral.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun.
That's what you're getting when you ask Joe Biden to speak at your funeral.
That'd actually be interesting.
You know what? Maybe I've done a 180. You won me over. That's going to be content gold for this show.
Come on.
He's going to walk up there and maybe he'll have a great speech, but he won't have pants on. Like, anything is possible with Joe Biden. All right, Matt Baer, what's happening?
We are looking at northbound 465 on the northeast side, stop and go traffic right now from Fall Creek up to Allisonville Road. That's because of an earlier medical emergency that has cleared. Eastbound 465 a little slow in the same area from Keystone to Allisonville, and inbound 69 slow roll from 96th Street down to 465. Traffic sponsored by Dell Technologies. The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale is on with savings on select business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors plus free shipping on devices built for your business today and tomorrow. Call 877-ASK-ADEL. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
So Joe Biden's standing there at the casket. Stand up, Jimmy. Let him see you. What the hell am I talking about?
God bless him.
Yeah, these are things that have actually happened with Joe Biden.
Who did he tell the guy in the wheelchair to
Chuck.
stand up?
Stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Chuck's in a wheelchair, Senator. Right now, we've got partly sunny skies, 37 degrees at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Boy, if you're looking for something new in terms of exercise and how you build your strength, try Exercise Inc. I've been on the program for years. It's a once-a-week strength training program that only lasts for 20 minutes. I've taken inches off my waist. I've gotten stronger. I have more energy, and I get the exercise my body craves, that it needs in 20 minutes a week. And your coaches, your trainers are great because they hold you accountable throughout the week and help you along with stuff outside the gym, like your diet and eating habits and routines. It makes such a difference when you have somebody along your side to encourage you throughout the week to reach your health and fitness goals. That's exactly what the coaches and trainers at Exercise Inc. do. ExerciseInc.com is the website. Tons of success stories there. You can set up an appointment, a free consultation. There are 4 locations: Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, and Zionsville. ExerciseInc.com. Change your life in 20 minutes a week.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through March 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
At Indiana Foundation Service, we're proud to share some of what our customers have said about us.
I was having problems with water in my crawl space during heavy rains. I was concerned about mold and the air my family was breathing. I'm so happy I called. The problem was fixed, and I'm not stressed anymore.
Indiana Foundation Service can keep your home and family safe. Visit IndianaFoundation.com to book your free inspection.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
Wealth-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
In a wreck and want to win? I'm attorney Daryl Isaacs. For over 30 years, our team at Isaacs & Isaacs Personal Injury Lawyers has fought the big insurance companies. And with over $1 billion recovered, we know how to win. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Cameron, I got to say, today is the lamest of all the days when we're talking about calendar days that are puns. I'll give you an example. You know what I'm talking about? Like May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. That's Star Wars Day.
Star Wars Day.
Now on May the 4th, may the Force be with you.
Got it.
Did you know that we missed Nintendo's Mario Day?
No way.
A couple days ago. March 10th. I didn't know this. March 10th is Mario Day because M-A-R and then the 1 and a 0 makes Mario. So the Super Mario Brothers,
right.
March 10th, like 7-Eleven, free Slurpee Day. That's actually pretty cool.
Yes.
So, but today is what? It's National Pi Day, correct?
P-I. It's the 14th day of the third month, 3 and 1/4. Those digits equal the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, represented by the Greek letter pi, 3.14. Get it? March 14th.
You are learning stuff every day on this show.
So I'm going to try to win you over. I know you're not big into today, Pi Day, but maybe doing great moments in Pi history could win you over.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Great moments in Pi history, of course, the movie American Pie, where Jim, the main character played by Jason Biggs, had relations with a pie and got caught by his dad.
Jim? It's not what it looks like.
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
That's pretty much all I could play from that scene.
They're just sitting there looking at the pie afterwards. It's all destroyed and kind of mashed up.
That look of shame on Jim's face. Great moments in Pie history. How about a little mood music, Allison?
Hello, Lambda. We're the pies, and we're here to say we think you are special guys. Lambda's all the way.
I love this segment. All of a sudden, you've got me now. I like Pie Day a lot more.
These Sisters of Pie setting the mood from Adams College. And last but not least, the pie eating contest from Stand By Me. Ladies and gentlemen, Lardass.
The audience didn't know was that Lardass wasn't really interested in winning. What he wanted was revenge.
Great moments in pie history.
That movie had a profound effect on my childhood. That's another one of those movies where, I'd go to my dad's on the weekends and he'd just let me watch anything I wanted when I was, my preteens.
Right.
And Stand By Me has kids in it, but it's filthy. It's cussing. It's traumatic almost. And that's one of the, I still watch it to this day and love it. And unfortunately, Rob Reiner, who is a crazy left-wing anti-Trump, anti-Republican nut job on Twitter, he was a great director. He just did a wonderful job on that movie. Old Stephen King book, by the way. Or maybe it was a short story, I'm not sure.
And if there's a motivational story in this movie, never forget, the fat kid in Stand By Me grew up to marry Rebecca Romaine.
Jerry O'Connell.
The fat, pudgy kid in Stand By Me married one of the biggest supermodels on the planet. So if you're a fat kid right now, if you have to put a stripe on your football helmet like I did, dreams can come true.
Vern.
All right. Now, Allison, I want to get you involved in this conversation. This is a story that's going viral. It's from a TikTok video, and people aren't sure if this woman is a hero or a villain. There's this chick in New York that was out on a date with a guy, and they're at a restaurant. The guy orders a cheeseburger. He orders a hamburger, but then he asks how much it is to get cheese on it, and apparently that was a breaking point, and the woman ended the date and walked out. Take a listen.
And the waitress comes over. She wants to take her order, and I said, okay, I'm going to take the branzino. And he said, I'm going to take the burger. And the waitress asked him, do you want some cheese on your burger? And he asked, is this going to be extra? And she says, yes, it's $3 extra. And he said, okay, then never mind. And he's like, oh my God, you have to pay extra for everything these days. And I'm like, yeah, it's New York City. I got up and I was like, I'm going to the restroom for a second. And I took my purse. And I went to the waitress, and I was like, hey, I just want to pay the bill. And I just paid the bill and walked out of the restaurant.
I'd say this guy dodged a bullet. I mean, $3 for a piece of cheese on your hamburger is pretty hefty. It is New York City, but right. I think this guy, I think she did him a favor.
Now, some people view her as the hero by, one, paying the check. You didn't just darkman the guy. You got out of there, but you paid the check, and you got rid of the cheapskate. So, Allison, I defer to you. Your thoughts on what you just heard.
I would not consider that a hero move. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, especially right now, everything costs so much. So I understand if he's trying to save a buck. Now, if maybe she ordered a cheeseburger and he wouldn't let her get the cheese, that's something different. But I mean, you never know in this day age. And honestly, there's a lot worse dates out there.
I'm kind of agreeing with Nige here. I think she might be a gold digger.
She's a lunatic.
I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't messing with... Well, I can't think of anything that rhymes with it, so we'll just let it go. Yeah. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah?
How would you feel if you lost out on $111,000 in retirement income?
Probably not great.
Yeah, so get this. 96% of Americans lose out on an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. Hey, it's Kendall and Casey.
Learn how you can avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Dummery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. If you've saved at least $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-932-9912. This free, customized analysis shows you exactly how to get the most out of your Social Security benefits, and it won't cost you a dime. Call 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912.
For the first time ever since opening its doors, the Indianapolis Men's Clinic is now the only men's health organization offering an intimacy guarantee. That's right. If you don't perform, you don't pay. You heard that right. Restoring intimacy is important to everyone. Helping men with a proven solution is what drives success. That's why the Indianapolis Men's Clinic stands by their intimacy guarantee. Now you will have the assurance and confidence of proven outcomes without the fear of financial loss. By using the latest technology for the treatment of ED, acoustic wave therapy uses pressure waves to open existing blood vessels, which restores spontaneity and intimacy for you and your loved one. Stop trusting companies that feed you empty promises with no results. Trust an intimacy guarantee. Trust the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic today. 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or IndianapolisMen'sClinic.com.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select BX Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 72 months, plus save up to $800 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Make sure you're ready. Cloudy, 37 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar's clear. You've got a low of 20 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:30. When it comes to being prepared for severe weather, one thing you may not have thought about is using a helmet.
And it can be any kind of helmet.
A bicycle helmet, motorcycle helmet, something to protect your head.
Joe Neild is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis.
Because when it comes down to it, in a tornado situation or in a particularly intense straight line wind situation, it's not necessarily that there's strong winds, it's that the strong winds are also blowing debris.
And he also encourages you to prepare your home and help your neighbors get ready for severe storms, too. This week is Severe Weather Preparedness Week. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The White House says it won't be intimidated after 2 Russian jets took down a U.S. drone. National Security spokesman John Kirby said the U.S. will keep flying in international airspace over the Black Sea.
We don't need to have some sort of check-in with the Russians before we fly in international airspace.
Kirby called the Russian pilots unprofessional and unsafe. Southwest Airlines announced plans to avoid another mass cancellation after a December full of staffing issues that kept planes from getting off the ground. President and CEO Bob Jordan says the company will increase staffing levels this winter and upgrade their scheduling system to make sure they have enough workers, especially in extreme weather conditions. You may have heard about Chinese companies connected to their country's Communist Party buying land in parts of the U.S.
In Texas, actually, there was a Chinese billionaire, an ex-member of the People's Liberation Army there in China that was buying up locations adjacent to military installations.
Indiana State Senator Justin Bush talking to Wish TV. He recently introduced a bill to stop that from happening in Indiana. That bill passed the Senate last month and made it through a House committee Monday. Today is March 14th, also known as Pi Day, a celebration of the mathematical constant pi, which you may be more familiar with it being known as 3.14. It's also a great excuse, though, to stop by the grocery store later today, buy yourself an actual pie to eat at home. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:32.
We love to binge watch, right, honey?
We do. And now with Lake City Bank Digital, we binge watch our money.
It has action.
Look, we can finally afford those obedience classes.
Ruffy, not the sofa. It has romance.
Hey, I bought you flowers.
Oh?
And they were on clearance.
Thanks. It has suspense.
What was that charge for? What? We can't look away.
We're hooked.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day. Monitor budgets, track payments, and even set savings goals. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital. Learn more at lakecitybank.com/digital. Member FDIC.
With traffic at 333, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at the east side, northbound 465 still slows from East 56th Street up to Allisonville Road because of an earlier medical emergency. And then inbound 69, a little bit tight, 96 on. And eastbound 465 south side, slow Man Road over to Harding. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, cold and clear, low temperatures in the low 20s. Wednesday, much warmer air starts to move into the area, mostly sunny skies. High temperatures right around 50 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Starting to get a clearer picture of exactly what companies are facing fallout from the SVB collapse, the Silicon Valley Bank. And yeah, like, I don't know if it was overstated or not. If Biden didn't bail out SVB, will there be another run on banks, like more banks, where people start withdrawing, with have like a fallout effect, like a contagion effect or whatever. But man, I'm telling you, if a company like Roku had to shut down because SVB collapsed, then that would send major reverberations throughout the industry and this country, right? So we've got a list of companies here that have been affected by this.
Roku held approximately $487 million of its $1.9 billion in cash at the Silicon Valley Bank, which collapsed this past Friday and was taken over by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corp. So the streaming technology company Roku, some of you have Roku TVs, things like that.
I got Amazon Fire. You probably, somebody else has Roku. It's kind of the same sort
like a
of
smart
thing.
TV.
Yes.
26% of the company's cash and cash equivalents were in Silicon Valley Bank. The company's deposits with SVB are largely uninsured, and at this time, the company does not know to what extent they're going to be able to recover its cash on deposit at the bank.
Well, I mean, Yellen and Biden said they're going to repay everybody, replenish. Everybody's going to get their deposits back. Precedence has been set. You're a giant bank full of billionaires that errantly put hundreds of millions of dollars uninsured into the system. Well, don't worry about it. We'll reimburse you.
And keep in mind, it's a bank with billions in it that help liberal causes. Because if this were the Bank of Indianapolis, and let's say you and I hit the Powerball, Nigel, and put all of our money into bank and it goes belly up, do you think the Biden administration is working to get us our money back?
No, but that's the thing. I don't understand these companies. Maybe somebody could tweet us and explain to us why, one company puts $500 million into a bank that's uninsured. I'm sure there's other things that could be done with that money that's not as risky.
Roku says that they're going to be good for the next 12 months and beyond, but after that, they're going to have to make some decisions on how their company moves forward. It kind of depends on whether or not they get some of their lost wages back. Other companies that were involved in the SVB collapse, Roblox.
Oh, I know that one, man. I know that one. That's the gaming platform that allows kids to not only program their own games but play games created by other users. My kids play that on the weekends all the time.
They said their day-to-day operations will not be affected, despite the fact that 5% of their $3 billion in cash was held at SVB.
That if I had to go home and tell my kids that Roblox went under, it would be devastating. And I don't want them to go under. I don't want people to lose their jobs, but they're kind of obsessed with that game.
The Toronto-based Acuity Ads holding had $55 million in SVB. Crypto leader BlockFi, however you want to pronounce it, which filed for bankruptcy because they got brought down by that lunatic Sam Bankman-Fried, they still had $227 million in SVB. They're trying to figure things out right now. And aerospace manufacturer Rocket Lab had almost 8% or approximately $38 million of its total cash in the collapsed bank at the time of filing.
So
It's a lot of money.
Like if you're a company that makes hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and you have a significant portion of your cash on hand in a bank that's uninsured, like what are you supposed to do with that cash? Tie it up in stocks and bonds and stuff like that?
I mean,
are you supposed to create 800 different accounts and, up to $250,000 because that's what's insured by the FDIC? I think families could actually buy more insurance if they wanted, like up to $1 million. But like if I win $100 million in the lottery, I'm going to have to set up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of separate money market accounts just so with $250,000 each.
Rich guy stuff.
Yeah.
Things we'll never do. Things we'll never have to worry about. Rich guy stuff.
Yeah. I guess we don't have to worry about it.
So Joe Biden did a sit-down interview with actor Kal Penn. Now, you probably know him from like the Harold and Kumar movies.
Oh, yeah.
He does like some comedy work, but he's also a super leftist. He had some sort of role in the Obama administration. Some sort of just here's a job title, nothing official. He's not going to meetings really, but he worked on the Obama team. So he sat down with Joe Biden and they were talking about gay marriage and things happening in Florida, where Ron DeSantis is saying, we don't want drag queen shows in front of children. So Joe Biden starts ripping on Florida, ripping on Ron DeSantis. But then he goes down memory lane and he talks about the moment that he knew gay marriage was all right.
I can remember exactly where my epiphany was.
Okay.
I hadn't thought much about it, to tell you the truth. And I was a senior in high school. And my dad was dropping me off. I remember about to get out of the car, and I looked to my right, and two well-dressed men in suits kissed each other. I mean, they gave each other a kiss. And then one looked like he was heading to the DuPont building, and one looked like he headed to the Hercules Corporation building. And I'll never forget, I turned and looked at my dad. He said, Joey, it's simple. They love each other. It's simple. No, I'm not joking.
So Joe Biden says in high school, he had this moment, this epiphany where he saw two gay guys kissing and then moving on to do their thing. And he thought, you know what? That's all right. That's good by me.
And he wasn't joking about it.
No, he made that perfectly clear. But the problem with that story is that Joe Biden voted against gay relationships time and time again when he got to Washington.
Yeah, the Clintons, the Obamas, of course.
I mean, Biden voted for DOMA in 1996 and
Defense of Marriage Act.
Openly saying that marriage should be between a man and a woman. And he said this ever since he got to Washington. Here, if Joe Biden could go down memory lane, so can we.
Barack Obama nor I support redefining from a civil side what constitutes marriage.
Marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here?
So wait a minute. If in high school he had this epiphany and he became this champion of gay relationships, why did he go to Washington and vote the way that he did? Or is he just full of crap and is a pandering machine?
They all are. From Obama to the Clintons to Biden. They all were for it. For DOMA, that is.
Speaking of gay, the Colts signed kicker Matt Gay to the largest free agent deal in the history of kickers in the NFL, Nige.
The Colts signed Matt Gay for how much?
$22 million. It's a multi-year deal, but $22 million. Now, I see people on social media going, well, that's not bad for a kicker. Adam Vinatieri was getting this amount of money for a little while. Fine, but the difference is Adam Vinatieri had a quarterback. Adam Vinatieri had a good offensive line. Things were taken care of. You could afford the luxury of locking up a really good kicker. The Colts don't have a quarterback, and the line stinks right now. They don't have a good starting legit NFL tight end, but you got $22 million to give to a kicker. And honestly,
that's not a year, is it?
No,
is that over a couple
multi-year
years?
deal.
Okay, but still, is that the highest?
That's the highest in NFL history for a free agent kicker. $22 million. Now, it's not like Chase McLaughlin was horrible a year ago. Once Chase McLaughlin became the Colts kicker, he was actually pretty good.
I guess there's not going to be much of a competition at training camp in that position.
No, not at all. And the way that I see it here, Matt Gay is really good. I'm not knocking him. He is a phenomenal kicker. He was the Rams kicker. He's really good. But in my mind, I'm seeing the Colts lose to the Jags next year, 38-12. But damn it, Matt Gay was 4 for 4. We didn't get in the end zone once, but Matt Gay was 4 for 4. Money well spent. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday morning at 8. Get the most up-to-date financial advice on the freshest thinking on investments, tax strategies, estate planning, and more. Visit creativeplanning.com/radio.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalize this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Just happy to be here. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
My brand new Galaxy concrete garage floor is amazing. It's out of this world, as they like to say. My old garage floor was dirty. It was cracked. It hadn't been taken care of. This new garage floor coating got installed within a day. By the way, it's not epoxy. That was like the old stuff. This is so much better. It's polyurea. That's the new premium standard for coatings. That's what Galaxy Concrete did in my garage. It just looks better, and it's 4 times stronger. Check out their website to see pictures. Get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call 317-751-9070.
Tired of eating at the same old places? Try Jay's Lobster and Fish Market in the Garage Food Hall in the Bottle Works District, downtown Indy. Named one of Indianapolis Monthly's best restaurants in 2021. Jay's specializes in lobster rolls, but also serves up incredible crab and shrimp rolls. A New England-style seafood shack, bringing a taste of the East Coast home to Indiana. You've got to try it all. Lobster rolls, lobster mac and cheese, lobster grilled cheese, and more. It's all at Jay's Lobster and Fish Market. Visit today.
Inspiration grows here, the Indiana Flower and Patio Show, March 11th through 19th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds and Event Center, presented by Indiana 811. This is the ideal place to find great deals, new ideas, and practical advice with trusted local experts. Stroll through this year's Indianapolis Landscape Association Feature Gardens, where spring is in full bloom and bursting with color. From landscaping and outdoor living to kitchens, baths, and more, don't miss the Indiana Flower and Patio Show. Plan your visit and save on tickets at indianaflowerandpatioshow.com.
Living tobacco-free is important to a healthy lifestyle. Make this your opportunity to break free.
Are you ready to quit?
Quit Now Indiana is now offering a new customizable quit plan called Pick Quit.
Pick Quit allows you to choose from a variety of tools that work best for your quit journey.
Pick Quit is a better way to break free from tobacco.
Get the help you need.
No lectures.
No pressure.
Just free help.
Go to quitnowindiana.com today.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun, brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
An $887 installed patio door and 20 months, no interest, no payments. Go to bwindow.com.
Trust me.
Oh, Matt Bear, you can feel the excitement growing. We are just about an hour away from Biden madness. Someone will punch a ticket to the Final Four, and we'll have another head-to-head matchup. That's coming about 1 hour from right now. But until then, let's get people where they need to be.
All right, Hammer, it's not bad on 465 right now. We do have a slow on the northeast side. It is eastbound 465 from Keystone over 269, and inbound 69 a little bit slow. 96th Street down 282nd. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Celebrate B Window's 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments, plus special offer of an $887 installed patio door. Trust me, I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
38 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. And let's do a round of Damn Nature, You Scary.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you suppose we'll meet any wild animals?
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and have some fun.
The dingo ate your baby.
And now Hammer and Nigel proudly presents
Damn Nature, You Scary.
Lions.
And tigers. And bears.
Oh, my.
Police in Ohio, man, this is crazy. They had to kill a zebra. They had to shoot it down because it attacked its owner, nearly bit his arm off.
Now, this may be a dumb guy question. Do zebra normally run around free in Ohio?
This dude, he's 72 years old. I think owned a bunch of zebras somehow.
He's like Joe Exotic, but of the zebra world.
Yeah. Damn zebra bit my arm off.
Oh my God.
So they show up at this guy's residence. He's in a pool of blood. He's surrounded by a herd of zebras. And the deputies were able to shoo away most of the animals. Go on, get.
Bad zebra.
Get
out
of here.
Zebra.
No. But one of the zebras charged the driver's side door. The police officers acting very hostile, and the deputy finally had to get the zebra to leave by turning on the siren. Most of them shoot away, but this one kept charging. One kept after it.
He was the leader.
He was the leader that nearly bit the guy's arm off, and the deputies had to put it down. He's okay, but here is the police officers involved in this incident here.
Is there a way for you to keep him back? We're trying not to shoot him, but... Yeah. Come on.
They said as long as you don't turn your head.
Like, don't
turn your head.
Keep looking at it?
Yeah. Don't turn your head.
Get out. No. Hit. Now, and by the way, I cut off there's more to that audio to where you do hear a gunshot. And the zebra going down, but they saved the arm.
Well, good for them.
And they have no plans to get rid of the other zebras.
What's going on in Ohio? Because last week we had a story about this wild African cat that jumped out of this dude's car, kind of like Ricky Bobby, and got up into a tree.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah,
the authorities had to go get that out of the tree, and now it's at the Cincinnati Zoo. So what the hell is going on in Ohio to where people have wild African cats and zebras as pets? I get the Browns are awful, but there's got to be a better way these people can spend their time.
I love how you found a way to crowbar in a shot at the Browns, the Cleveland Browns. This zebra incident, we've already inspired a brand new Hammer and Nigel Pictures movie.
Coming soon. If you loved Cocaine Bear, get ready for Cocaine Zebra.
Oh!
It bit my arm off!
It's as plain as black and white, but it snorted too much white. Cocaine Zebra.
I'd give an arm or leg to see it.
Coming soon.
Oh, wow. Cocaine zebra from Hammer and Nigel.
Yeah.
Pictures there. Did you ever hear that, and I don't know if this is urban legend or somebody lied to me, I've heard that zebras are actually black, but it's white stripes that they have. Has anybody heard this before? Like, you just think of a zebra being white with black stripes.
Yeah.
But the zebra itself is actually a black animal with white stripes. Allison?
I've heard that, yes. I agree.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Nigel, did you ever hear that?
It seems sort of like, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I've never heard that the official scientific definition of what color exactly a zebra is. I don't know.
So if anybody can confirm that, is anybody working at the zoo or somebody that has a pet zebra like these freaks in Ohio, if you can confirm this, hit us up. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we got the YouTube chat going on. Are zebras black animals with white stripes, or have I been lied to?
I know we got, about 45 seconds left here. Just real quick. Are the tournament playing games tonight?
Play-in games are tonight.
And
the
tomorrow,
first round.
Right?
Yeah. There's a couple games tonight, couple games tomorrow.
And are you, your usual degenerate self? Have you placed wagers on these games for the season?
Yeah. I love underdogs in these games. Every year in the first four, it feels like the underdogs roll. So I'm degenerating up, my friend. I am ready to roll. Give me the dogs in all these games. And speaking of brackets, Biden madness coming up in just a little bit. Someone's going to the Final Four and a new matchup today. We got a lot of fun to have. Don't go anywhere. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
For the first time ever since opening its doors, the Indianapolis Men's Clinic is now the only men's health organization offering an intimacy guarantee. That's right. If you don't perform, you don't pay. You heard that right. Restoring intimacy is important to everyone. Helping men with a proven solution is what drives success. That's why the Indianapolis Men's Clinic stands by their intimacy guarantee. Now you will have the assurance and confidence of proven outcomes without the fear of financial loss. By using the latest technology for the treatment of ED, acoustic wave therapy uses pressure waves to open existing blood vessels, which restores spontaneity and intimacy for you and your loved one. Stop trusting companies that feed you empty promises with no results. Trust an intimacy guarantee. Trust the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic today. 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or IndianapolisMen'sClinic.com.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month. With no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. With the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
Do you even know what's in your crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted, award-winning experts. A dry, healthy crawl space protects the health of your family and your greatest asset, your home. Transform your problem crawl space into a dry, healthy, energy-saving crawl space today and call the real, local, family-owned crawl space experts. Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, 317-407-1868 or SwaincoLLC.com.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Did His Homework. When it came to Jill's engagement ring, Brady knew exactly what to get.
Okay, so I came up with a design and showed it to all of our friends.
She'll love it.
Then he went to Helzberg. Their incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds made creating that special ring easy. Her reaction?
I love it. Can't wait to tell everybody.
Everybody might know about it.
Be like Brady. Create the ring of your dreams at a Helzberg near you or at Helzberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
Chapters of this story take a whole month to tell. This is
May. It starts with twists and turns on the IMS road course for the GMR Grand Prix. Then PPG presents Armed Forces Indy 500 qualifying and the Firestone Fast 6 shootout. May continues with Indy's biggest party, Miller Lite Car Day. And all roads lead to the 107th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge. This is where heroes become legends and legends become legendary. This is May. Buy now and save. Get tickets at IMS.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Coming up in 2 minutes, how and why you should be prepared for severe weather this time of year. Parker Carlson reports on an accident involving a semi Monday and an arrest made after a shooting outside of a restaurant in Greenwood last week. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
A relief rally on Wall Street. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Dow up 343 points at the closing bell after an inflation report, mainly in line with expectations.
Prices rose at a more modest pace last month. The consumer price index rose 0.4%, up 6% for the year ending in February. It's a sign of slow improvement in inflation.
Fox's Jenny Cosola, a rebound in regional bank stocks, also helping the markets. The U.S. is summoning Russia's ambassador to Washington, accusing a Russian fighter jet of acting recklessly over the Black Sea, where a U.S. surveillance drone in international airspace was forced to ditch into the water after its propeller was hit. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says there have been other recent intercepts.
It is the first time that an intercept resulted in the splashing of one of our drones.
Russia denies impacting the U.S. drone. The state of Ohio is suing a railroad over a toxic derailment.
Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost announcing a 53-count federal lawsuit against Norfolk Southern Railway to hold the company responsible following last month's toxic train disaster in East Palestine.
We're still finding out what the facts were, exactly what happened, who was responsible. Each day, it seems that the picture gets a little bit more complicated.
Yost noting Norfolk Southern's escalating accident rates over the last 10 years and saying, like residents in East Palestine, that he too, during a visit there, experienced discomfort from the over 1 million gallons of toxic chemicals that he says were spilled that endangered both health and natural resources.
Fox's Jeff Manasso, the Norfolk Southern CEO, told Congress last week they're determined to make it right. A just-released statement repeats that. It says they're working with the Attorney General's office on programs to address long-term concerns. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Make sure you're ready. 37 with a few clouds downtown. Nothing on your radar. Clouds should stick around tonight as the low falls to 20. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. With this week being Severe Weather Preparedness Week, Joe Neild with the National Weather Service says a lot of being prepared is knowing your surroundings.
I'm in a position where I've reviewed my plans. Wherever I am at that time, I know where my safe place is. I know where I'm going to go.
One reason why it's Severe Weather Preparedness Week, Joe Neild says tornadoes can often happen in Indiana in March. A semi-truck rolled over on I-65 Monday, which caused another wreck with serious injuries. Parker Carlson has more.
There was heavy traffic to clean up the accident on I-65 in Jasper County, but a box truck didn't see that traffic was stopped. They crashed into a Subaru sedan, damaging a truck in front of it. A 4-year-old boy and the driver of the Subaru had serious injuries, and the boy was later taken to a children's hospital in Chicago for further treatment. The parents of the boy were also hurt, and now police are investigating the crash for potential charges. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An arrest has been made in a fatal shooting outside of Greenwood Restaurant last week. Timothy Sanito was shot and killed in the Ale Emporium parking lot. Witnesses told police an argument started between him and Marco Gonzalez before Gonzalez pulled out a gun and shot it. He was tracked down by the cops and is now in the Johnson County Jail facing a charge of murder. keeping the Chinese Communist Party out of Indiana. That is what one bill in the State House would do. Kurt Darling explains.
State Senator Justin Bush's bill would restrict the sale of farmland near military bases in Indiana to people or companies thought to be connected to the CCP.
There has been a couple of states where we actually have seen this happen.
And Bush tells Wish TV he wants to get ahead of that in Indiana. The bill passed with unanimous support from a House committee on Monday. It passed the full Senate last month. In the Senate, it had some opposition from Democrats like State Senator Andrea Hunley, who likened the bill to McCarthyism. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The awards are beginning to roll in for Purdue and IU men's basketball. Indiana's Trace Jackson Davis and Purdue's Zach Edey were each named first-team All-Americans today. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
How often have you thought about finishing your basement? Make that dream man cave for watching the big game, or space for the workout room, or, a place for the kids to play. You bought the whole house, use it. But first, you've got to make sure that space is dry and usable. Your basement and crawl space need to be waterproofed. The last thing you want is water damage, musty smells, mold, and foundation issues happening behind that drywall. Indiana Foundation Services is familiar with crawl space problems and can provide you with a permanent solution. Their exclusive vapor barrier and insulation panels permanently seal and insulate your crawl space from the cold air and precipitation you're trying to keep out of your home. Go to indianafoundation.com today to schedule your free inspection. Take back the comfort, health, and safety of your home today with the help of Indiana Foundation Services.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, Noblesville crash, State Road 37 near 186th Street. I'm told somebody's hurt in this, and it is a spot to avoid. Eastbound 465, stop and go Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Eastbound 70 drags into downtown from Harding to Meridian, Illinois. And inbound 65, a little pokey from West Street to the North Split. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop the Customer Appreciation Sale at Grand Appliance for the lowest prices and extra savings you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at grandappliance.com. Grand Appliance, expert since 1930. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, cold and clear, low temperatures in the low 20s. Wednesday, much warmer air starts to move into the area, mostly sunny skies, high temperatures right around 50 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. I'll be completely and totally honest with you. This feud between Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, I'm all in. As a radio guy that lives in this kind of bubble, and things are just getting started.
It's good for the show.
It's really
good for our business.
Like, it might not be good for the Republican Party so much as fracturing people, the tribes, and different fracturing the party, and then but Trump going after DeSantis. You notice he hasn't gone after any of his other opponents that have declared. Nikki Haley really hasn't said anything about. As I mentioned, the possibility of Tim Scott or Pompeo or any of these guys running. They may have had some words from Mike Pence, who is probably going to throw his name in the hat as well. But it's Trump v. DeSantis. DeSantis, of course, hasn't announced he's running yet, but he's on this big book tour. Was just in Iowa, which plays a big part in the GOP nomination. And things are, and man, Trump, this is nothing new. Trump's been doing this for weeks, if not months now.
I mean, he's been doing it for years.
Subtle jabs.
Not necessarily just for DeSantis, but that's how he cleared the field back in 2016. From low energy Jeb to Little Marco, giving nicknames to these people is part of his strategy. But back then, it felt like, I don't know, it was different because we had never seen anything like this. But here comes this rambunctious, rowdy, quote-unquote outsider, not a politician, coming here shaking things up. Well, a lot has happened since 2016, and not as many people are entertained by Donald Trump bashing other Republicans. So let's get into it here. This is what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, his social media platform, earlier today about Ron DeSantis.
For those of you that didn't notice, Florida was doing great long before Ron DeSantis got there. People are fleeing from New York to Florida and other places because of high taxes and out-of-control crime. It's really bad. Not because of the governor. Thank you, Mr. President, for doing that. But it's not because of the governor. Florida was doing fantastically. You had a governor named Rick Scott who did a very good job. Even Charlie Crist, a Democrat, did a good job, and he had very good numbers. Sunshine and ocean are very alluring. It's not too hard to work with those factors. So just remember, Florida was doing really well long before Ron DeSantis got there.
What is Ron DeSantis? I mean, it's Ron DeSanctimonious.
Is that a short
for
Ron
version?
DeSanctimonious?
And for God's sake, he's mentioning a Democrat in his, the Florida was great even with the Democrat. Lots of sunshine there, so he's trying to downplay the importance and the role of Ron DeSantis and what he's done for Florida over the past few years, even though, again, Donald Trump endorsed Ron DeSantis for governor when he was first elected. Boy, politics are vicious, aren't they?
It's blood sport, man.
It's knife in the back blood sport. It is. So what did you think about that? I don't think because look, if Florida was doing very poorly in crime and economy and whatever, Trump would be the first to blame Ron DeSantis for that.
Correct.
But because Florida's doing so well, that's not him. Yeah, Florida's always done well.
Charlie Crist. I love Charlie Crist. Like, Charlie Crist is getting props from a Trump speech, and you're ripping the dude that you endorsed during the last go-around here.
That's an interesting strategy, for sure.
And this is on the heels of Donald Trump's speech in Iowa, where he was in front of the crowd and ripped on Ron DeSantis once again.
Ron was a disciple of Paul Ryan, who is a rhino loser who currently is destroying Fox and would constantly vote against entitlements. He would just vote against, remember that, the wheelchair over the cliffs, the Democrats used it. The wheelchair over the cliff commercial, very effective. That was about him. But Paul Ryan's a big reason that Mitt Romney, I'm not a big fan of Mitt Romney, lost his election. And to be honest with you, Ron reminds me a lot of Mitt Romney. So I don't think you're going to be doing so well here, but we're going to find out. But those are the facts.
Why does he remind you of Mitt Romney?
Because Mitt Romney is a loser, according to Donald Trump. Mitt Romney is a rhino, according to Donald
and
Trump.
You see what Donald Trump's trying to tie DeSantis to unpopular Republicans or establishment rhino Republicans like Jeb Bush,
Paul Ryan,
and like Mitt Romney. Yeah, that's the strategy, apparently, moving forward for the Trump campaign.
So while Donald Trump is on his Ron DeSantis world tour, news broke today that the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and his administration, they're revoking the alcohol license for the Hyatt Regency in Miami because apparently this hotel hosted, and these are their words, quote, a sexually explicit show with children present.
Yeah, like a drag show.
A drag queen Christmas on December 27th, 2002.
Yeah, we had that story, 2002, 22?
2022,
yeah,
yes.
That's a story we had on this show for sure. And if there were children present at a sexually explicit drag show, bye-bye to that license.
So while Trump is out ripping on DeSantis is actually doing some legislation in his state. Now, whether or not this is going to hold up, we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of legal stuff involved of removing this liquor license, but at least he's trying. He's trying to get things done in Florida. So this is what's different about 2016. In 2016, it's easy to pick on Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush is a zero. It was easy to pick on Marco Rubio.
And this was all new, by the way. This was all novel for an opponent to go after his rivals the way Trump was doing. Now it's like kind of old hat.
Right.
But I'm telling you, I'm interested in it. but are the voters interested in it? You and I might think it's funny.
Now, you can't always gauge things by book sales, okay? Because the way book sales work in Washington, your super PAC buys a bunch of copies of it, and that's how it gets on the New York Times bestseller list. But if you can gauge anything, Ron DeSantis' book, the initial sales have been phenomenal. Book sales beating Clinton and Obama and even Donald Trump's book in 2015.
Yeah.
Not The Art of the Deal, because that was a monster, but Trump's book that basically laid the groundwork for his presidential run. Ron DeSantis, I said this the other day, I feel like his supporters are the new silent majority. It used to be Donald Trump. Nobody wanted to admit that they were a Trump fan back in the day. That's why it was such a shock that he won on election night, defeating Hillary Clinton. Even Rachel Maddow swearing on TV because she couldn't believe the results. But now, Trump fans, they're pretty vocal. They're pretty out there. They wear the hats, they wear the shirts, they've got the signs, they do all the things. And that's fine. That's awesome. But it feels like the Ron DeSantis crowd, they just want to win.
When DeSantis finally hits back at Trump, I don't think he's going to make a decision until after the Florida legislature takes a break. But what's it going to be for DeSantis? How is he going to hit back against Trump? My theory is, one of the theories is, Trump was all in on warp speed with the vaccines and all that, and Ron DeSantis and DeSantis and his Surgeon General are going after the big pharma when they want him to answer certain questions about the efficacy of the vaccines, the safety of the vaccines. And I think that's something kind of interesting because I think a lot of Republicans pushed back on these vaccine mandates. And now that we know the vaccines are essentially worthless, nobody's getting the booster. They don't stop the spread. They don't stop you from getting COVID, and there's some studies that say they don't stop you from getting severe disease. And so that might be an angle for DeSantis, and because Trump was all in on the vaccines.
He will eventually have to debate Donald Trump if he gets in. He's going to have to debate. But what if Ron DeSantis doesn't rip Donald Trump? Because that's been his MO so far.
If he ignores him?
He's gone out and said, I don't believe in ripping other Republicans. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the Democratic candidate that we're trying to run against. But so far, he's played it pretty clean. Can he keep that up? Will that strategy be something that people gravitate to? Or will eventually he is going to have to fight back? I'm with you. I'm fascinated by it. It's going to be great for our show. We're all on this ride together, baby. Get your tickets now. Hop on board. It's going to be fun. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Crash State Road 37 near 186th Street in Noblesville. Somebody could be hurt in this. Definitely a spot to avoid right now. Eastbound 70, a little bit slow from Harding Street to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 Time West Street to the North Split. And eastbound 465, stop and go Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's the big spring sale at Mattress Firm. Save up to $700 today. Plus get a free adjustable base with select purchases and spring into better sleep. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now we got partly cloudy skies, 38 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Is this anything? It's coming up next.
If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you're about to do today? As time marches on, the inescapable movement of the clock can change our perspective on life and our daily purpose. We all get there someday. In recent years, families I work with often ask, what happens to me, Brian, if something happens to you or you decide to retire? Every day I ask myself, does this still feel like a purpose that I look forward to, or is this starting to feel like a job? This is Brian Singer with Singer Financial. I feel blessed to still love what I do, but someday my purpose might shift to playing pickleball 24/7. CNBC reports that 73% of financial advisors lack a formal succession plan. That means that nearly 3 out of 4 advisors may be contemplating their own retirement with no transitional support for the clients who may have trusted them for years or decades. Fiduciary advisors put clients' best interests first. At Singer Financial, that means knowing how the individuals, couples, and families we work with will be taken care of for many more years beyond my retirement, unexpected disability, or death. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now a part of Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm. We believe our integration with the Howard Bailey team is a giant step forward in our mission to be the last financial team you would ever need or want. Howard Bailey is a growing firm with a youthful, energetic founder and a cutting-edge planning process designed to help you transition into a work-optional lifestyle someday. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit and talk about your someday. If you're ready to plan for your best retirement, we should get together.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older,
52, 36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
Theme weeks, family nights, live a dream trips, and more. Whether you're looking for a short-term rehabilitation stay or want to downsize with our independent living apartments, you'll find there's always something to celebrate at a Trilogy Senior Living community. Trilogy is proud to take care of seniors' day-to-day hassles so they can enjoy life with friends, family, and a staff committed to exceeding their expectations every day. Visit us today at www.trilogyhs.com/live to find out why Trilogy is where family comes to live.
People everywhere are binge watching their money. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital. When checking Met Savings.
Together we make so much sense.
Also featuring Adventures of the Penny Pincher.
My journey has not been an easy one, but my budget is going to survive.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day on Lake City Bank Digital. Learn more at lakecitybank.com/digital. Member FDIC.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I'm going to run a story by you. You break down all the information, and you go full Judge Judy. Full Judge Ito. Tell us if the story is anything or not. Is this anything? A Craigslist ad for a server job at a restaurant's getting some attention for its long and insane list of job requirements. Here is a social media user reading off the posted ad.
Please do not apply if you have no sense of humor or can't handle skillful sarcasm, have no alarm clock, oversleep, have a cell phone battery that dies constantly, preventing you from contacting us. Do not apply if you think you'll need nights off because your grandma poisoned you with her ham again. Or your band has a gig and you need weekends off because your favorite roller derby has made it to the finals. You've been at the casino all night and still have money to play with. You've locked yourself in the house by mistake and there are no windows to crawl out of. Call or text Claudia for more details. This sounds like an amazing place to work, doesn't it?
Wasn't there a bar or a restaurant here in Central Indy in one of the donut counties recently that got in trouble for posting something similar to this? Like, they had a list of requirements that, like, yeah, if you're going to call in every night, we don't want you. You know, if you have a positive attitude, leave your phone at home or in the car.
There was a sign out front that said, "No idiots."
Yes. Yeah. They were looking for employees. So is this ad meant to eliminate the unfunny people that don't get sarcasm, or, therefore one big joke, or is it written by some sort of fed-up restaurant owner tired of giving people jobs who have a poor work ethic? I think this is something, and it's, the turnover in this industry, in that bar industry, has got to be crazy, or the restaurant industry in general. And that was the gist of that bar that kind of went viral, got in trouble. If you're going to call in sick, if you're going to immediately start asking for days off, we don't even want you. Stop, being a crappy worker, basically. We don't need any crap workers. And they actually got in trouble for that. I forget which bar it was. We were talking about that, or maybe that was the week I was on vacation, but people had a problem with that. And I'm like,
listen, I'm going to give you a little devil's advocate here. You don't walk away when you're on a heater at the casino. Now, I'm sorry. If I still got money to play with, I have been doing well. If I've been there all night, I'm still doing well. You don't walk away on a heater. So I will fight back. Maybe that's not the job for me, because they clearly mentioned, if you've been at the casino all night, still got money to play with, we don't want you here. Well, you know what? I'm too busy winning. Maybe I don't need your crappy job.
I didn't hear that part about the casino. So they said, so I think this is pretty much giving future applicants the idea that, like, we're not going to put up with a lot of crap. This is kind of tongue-in-cheek. It's a joke, but get your crap together. We don't want anybody with a crap work ethic that's going to call in sick at the last minute or ask for weekends off. That's not what this job entails.
We're Wendy's, damn it. Yeah. If you got that kind of attitude, walk your ass to Hardee's. Hat tip to Chris Rock for that classic.
Oh, wow.
Is this anything? A giant blob of seaweed that's twice as big as the United States and visible from space is now headed toward Florida.
What?
This big, massive blob of seaweed. Here is a University of South Florida professor warning residents of the big-ass round of seaweed heading toward the coast this summer.
It's really big. It's bigger than 2018. The message is this will be another major cyclone year, and it will come to us sooner or later.
Yeah, that's something. I wonder if that has anything to do with the red tide. I heard him mention 2018. I went to Florida with some buddies in 2018 down in Naples, and it was red tide season. And this could be two totally different things. I can't believe there's a seaweed mass that's as big as the United States. That's nuts. But have you ever been down in Florida with the red tide?
Oh, yeah. 2021. It was awful. Like, it stinks. Like, it kind of burns your eyes a little bit. Dead fish all washing up everywhere.
Like, the seaweed itself for this particular thing isn't harmful, but there's like creatures living in it that could cause skin rashes and blisters. And again, I don't know if this is the exact same thing as red tide, but man, we could barely sit down on the beach for 20 minutes. Then we put our stuff back on and went to like a tiki bar. I barely was able to sit at the tiki bar. It's like breathing in bear spray.
Yeah, it's bad. And it's Gulf side. It's like St. Pete area where I was at. And you're right. It kind of burns, and it's no fun, and it stinks because all the dead fish start washing up onto the beach, and oh, man.
And there's some people down there that are used to it, that are still in the water, that were in the water. There's dead fish all over the place. It's so gross. And yeah, I'm looking at this kind of, I'm looking at this seaweed right now. It's huge, and it's disgusting. And I would not like to be down in Florida on the beach when this stuff washes ashore.
Now, is that big, massive trash area still floating in the Pacific?
Oh, I remember that.
Because there was supposed to be this big, massive area of trash, and it just floats around, and I believe it's in the Pacific. I don't know if it's broken up, if it's still put together.
Maybe there was some sort of barge that came in and tried to suck it all up. I don't know. And I remember that. Yeah, that was disgusting.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique, patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort, too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
Storm season is coming, and storms in Indiana can be brutal. And your siding defends your home from the forces of the wind and the rain, so you want to make sure your home is protected with the best roofing and siding possible. You need Moss Roofing because they use high-quality James Hardy siding, and it withstands our Indiana weather. This fiber cement siding is strong and actually mimics traditional siding options. Moss Roofing installs James Hardy siding to help ensure your home's exterior is attractive for years to come. And Moss Roofing has got you covered in every way. They believe in honesty, integrity, and quality service, and they do great work right here in Central Indiana. Your roofing, your siding, insulation, all of it installed and priced perfectly with Moss Roofing. Contact Moss Roofing at MOSS, mossroofing.com, or call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or online at MOSS, mossroofing.com, and tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Better safe than sorry. A few clouds at 38 degrees downtown. Radar clear, low of 21 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. If you've lived in Indiana, you know that the weather can change any day. That means severe weather can hit in a moment's notice.
Practice your plan and put in place what you're going to do when severe weather threatens. And just make sure that you've thought through that, because when severe weather is threatening, minutes, even seconds can be life-saving.
Joe Neild with the National Weather Service. It's Severe Weather Preparedness Week, so now's a good time to make sure you know what to do in case of emergency. The state of Ohio is now suing Norfolk Southern over the toxic train derailment in East Palestine. Attorney General Dave Yost says they're seeking damages, civil penalties, and a judgment that the railroad company is responsible. The lawsuit claims there were several violations of state and federal law. The Pentagon is calling Russia's interception of a U.S. drone over the Black Sea unprofessional and unsafe.
One of the Russian Su-27 aircraft struck the propeller of the MQ-9, causing U.S. forces to have to bring the MQ-9 down in international waters.
Russian jets forced down a U.S. drone flying in international airspace this morning. Brigadier General Pat Ryder said these types of aircraft have been flying over the region for some time, and intercepts aren't uncommon. You may be wondering if any of the recent bank closures will impact you. Sasha Nixon reports.
What happened in 2018, 2019 is that we saw kind of a rollback of certain provisions, and specifically kind of how often these banks are checked on. If we would have had those provisions, it's likely that we would have kind of caught these issues earlier on, and we might have prevented these bank runs.
That's Christoph Kleiner, a professor at IU's Kelley School of Business, talking to Wish TV. He says it is not clear yet if or how Hoosier institutions might be influenced, though some businesses may feel the effects. This being said, he advocates against a run on banks, which could just lead to bigger problems. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And your stock report. The Dow finished up 336 today to 31,155. The NASDAQ up 239 to 11,428. The S&P 500 also up today by 64 points to 3,920. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
Hey, Tamer and Nigel for Window Nation. Have you noticed your energy costs have been rising dramatically? Nationwide, energy prices have increased over 14% since last year. It isn't too late to do something to fix your high energy bills. Beat the spring rush with the last month of off-season pricing at Window Nation. Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy with 0 down payment, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. New windows will pay for themselves with the energy savings on your energy bills, and you will pay nothing for 2 full years with 0% financing, saving you hundreds of dollars.
Go with the window company that has installed nearly 2 million windows, including mine. 866-90-NATION. Get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. No limit. Plus, no down payment, no payments, no interest for 24 months. This offer won't last long. Call Window Nation right now. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic at 434, what's going on, Matt Bear?
All right, Harrison, eastbound 465 slows. Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. East side northbound 465 slow out of Penn Pike, then stop and go. East 56 275th. Inbound 65 a little bit slow from West Street to the North Split and crash Noblesville, State Road 37 near 186th Street. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, cold and clear, low temperatures in the low 20s. Wednesday, much warmer air starts to move into the area, mostly sunny skies. High temperatures right around 50 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I've got a woke update from the BBC. Listen to this, Hammer. I know this isn't on the rundown. I just saw this on the just one of the headlines popped up. BBC World News host Laura Trevelyan quits weeks after apologizing for her family's slavery links. She has left her role as an anchor at the BBC after 30 years to play a role in what she calls uprooting the legacy of colonialism in the Caribbean.
Oh, geez.
This is very specific. So her decision to quit comes just a few weeks after she apologized to the people of Grenada, which is, an island in the West Indies in the Caribbean Sea, the south end of the that island chain there. We apologize for the actions of our ancestors in holding your ancestors in slavery. She signed a letter February 27. And then she later tweeted out, a new chapter is starting for me. After 30 incredible years at the BBC, I'm leaving tomorrow to join the growing movement for reparatory justice for the Caribbean. Thank you to my beloved colleagues and to our amazing audience. Could you imagine feeling so guilty after a 30-year career at the BBC, no less?
Right.
The wokest of the woke, the most politically leftist progressive media outlet in over there in Britain.
At first, I thought when you said that she had quit after apologizing, I thought she was angry that they'd made her apologize. So she was like, you know what? I don't need it. Screw you. I'm out.
No, apparently there's, I don't know. I guess there's money to be made in the growing movement for reparatory justice for the Caribbean. I mean, how are you going to make a living there? I mean, imagine, like if you did, like I did, 1 year I did Ancestry.com or whatever it's called, Ancestry.com. And I'm looking at it right now. I thought it was pretty, I spit into a vial. I sent it off. And I was just curious. My mom got it for me for like Christmas or my birthday or something. And it came back pretty much what I thought. 26% English, 24% Scottish. Got some Sweden and Denmark in there, some Germanic Europe. Got some like 5% Irish.
I was going to bet there's probably some Irish in there somewhere. Long line of drinkers.
Well, my grandma's maiden name is Killian, which is I don't know if that's an Irish name or a Scottish.
Killian's
name.
red.
Yeah, I think that's Irish. But I'm only 5% Irish. There's 3%. Oh, wow, this is new. 3% Northern. But look, if you did one of these things and it came back and you were able to trace back hundreds and hundreds of years that your ancestors participated in the slave trade, would it even ever occur to you to make a public apology and then quit and move to California where they're working on reparations currently?
No.
Could you imagine? What do I have to do with anything my ancestors did hundreds and thousands of years ago? Absolutely nothing. I don't owe anybody anything.
My parents were kind of like hippies at Tech High School. So if you're looking for an apology from me, you're probably not going to get it.
What is Hammer's hair? Do you know what your heritage is?
We come from Germans.
Germans? Hammer is a German?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I've never done the official thing, but I've had family members that have done it, and it traces back to that. So, again, I have no reason to apologize. If I do something dumb, I will apologize.
Well, sure.
But sure, I haven't done anything that's worth an apology today.
Apologize for your heritage. Remember when Ben Affleck did this? Like it was a show on the History Channel or something like that, and it came back that he had roots. His family had roots in the KKK, and he begged, pleaded with them to edit that part out and to shut that down.
He needs to apologize for that Batman movie that he did. Like if he wants to come out and apologize for that, then I'll listen to him.
So are you going to apologize for your family's history and heritage of the KKK? Look, that was hundreds of years ago, and even if it was just 100 years ago, I have nothing to do with that. This lady is nuts.
And what's the cutoff right there? Is it just slavery, or like years from now, are we demanding the ancestors of OJ to apologize to all of us? Well, your dad got away with killing a couple people, and we never really heard you publicly apologize. So if you want to keep working here at the BBC, we're going to need you to denounce O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson's great-great-great-great-granddaughter gets a job at the BBC here in 150 years, and she has to publicly apologize, before they let her continue on with their job.
And she opens it up. What up, BBC? It's yours truly.
What up, Twitter world?
It's yours truly.
Oh, wow.
We were talking about Marco Rubio a little bit earlier. His name got brought up.
Small hands?
Little Marco.
Didn't Trump say something specifically about his hands?
Correct.
Okay.
And Marco Rubio...
Go back to your bathhouse.
ran for the presidency in 2016, got beat in the primary, really wasn't all that competitive. He said he has no plans to enter the 2024 presidential race.
I have no plans to enter the 2023 NFL draft.
I think you have a better chance in the NFL draft than Rubio does in that 2024 presidency.
Oh, my favorite stories that Alex Jones chased down Marco Rubio. Remember that piece of audio? There's allegedly some picture floating around the internet of Marco Rubio in the 90s at a foam party. I believe a bathhouse, like a gay bathhouse or some sort of.
Allison, can you search the Hammer and Nigel folder for Rubio? And I'm sure you can find the clip where Alex Jones
go back to your bathhouse
is yelling at Marco Rubio. Yeah, he was doing this like little press gaggle outside of his office, and then Alex Jones just kind of crashes it and starts asking him.
It's not even, it doesn't even look like him in the thing. You can barely see him. I'm looking at the picture right now.
Allison, do you have it? Let's go ahead.
You guys can talk to this clown.
Oh, yeah. Look, it's a little frat boy. So cool. Go back to your bathhouse.
Now, what's the story behind the bathhouse again, Nige?
There's some picture floating around the internet of, they used to have foam parties. They used to do it at the Vogue all the time, where they'd
foam parties.
Yeah, they'd fill the dance floor full of foam, so it's up to your neck, and you're just dancing, and you get all wet. And this happened to be at some gay bar, or as Alex Jones put it, a bathhouse. And there's supposedly, you could type in Marco Rubio bathhouse and look at it yourself. You could barely even see who they say it's him.
I'm sure everybody's rushing to type in Marco Rubio bathhouse into their search engine right now. But if you want to, you can.
If you're stuck in traffic and you're not moving, grab your phone. Just type in Marco Rubio bathhouse.
And it's almost like Where's Waldo? Like there's this blurry kind of guy in the background that somewhat resembles Marco Rubio, and Alex Jones is convinced that it is. And that's where we got that audio from. Can we hear it one more time, please, Allison?
You guys can talk to this clown.
Oh, yeah. Looks a little frat boy. So cool. Go back to your bathhouse.
So ridiculous.
This is so dumb. Yeah, no, I'm looking at the picture right now. You can't even see the guy's face. There's another shirtless dude right in front of him with an arrow pointing down. They're saying that's Marco Rubio, but you can't tell.
Allison, you ever been in a bathhouse?
You ever been to a Turkish prison?
No, I haven't.
I'd like to keep Allison in the conversation.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
Hit me with a little legal stuff. Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff. Man, I don't necessarily think this guy should have been arrested. Dateline Georgia, a man in Georgia was arrested because he was busted smoking weed in the parking lot of a Waffle House. The problem was there was a canine drug-sniffing dog unit right next to him.
You may not think he should have been arrested, but it's certainly not very smart for him to do something like that.
Well, no, it's not smart. But at the same time, I promise you, there are way worse things going on inside of that Waffle House than this guy smoking weed on the outside.
Officer, you might want to break up that brawl that's currently going on inside the Waffle House and worry about me smoking weed next to your canine unit.
The waitress just caught a chair and now she's punching someone. I think that warrants your attention. Biden madness next.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month. With no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. With the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
Say you want to sell your home, but you're worried because your home needs costly repairs or upgrades. Don't worry about that stuff with Mark Dietel, the only real estate agent I trust to sell my house. In fact, right now, Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he'll buy it. Melissa and Leonard in Mooresville, they needed to move out of state for a job change, and they needed to sell quickly. Mark Dietel sold their home in 25 days for cash at the price they needed, but were afraid they wouldn't get. Hire Mark Dietel.
Listen to this guarantee from Mark Dietel. This is why he's the agent of the Hammer and Nigel show. Mark Dietel guarantees he will sell your home or he'll buy it. Let that sink in. This is why he's the best in the business. Contact him today. Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232, or visit him online, markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Inspiration grows here, the Indiana Flower and Patio Show, March 11th through 19th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds and Event Center, presented by Indiana 811. This is the ideal place to find great deals, new ideas, and practical advice with trusted local experts. Stroll through this year's Indianapolis Landscape Association Feature Gardens, where spring is in full bloom and bursting with color. From landscaping and outdoor living to kitchens, baths, and more, don't miss the Indiana Flower and Patio Show. Plan your visit and save on tickets at indianaflowerandpatioshow.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call
Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Over 1 million people would like to quit smoking.
That's why we're offering free nicotine replacement products to help. You can get 4 weeks of patches, gum, or lozenges free while supplies last.
Simply call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Quit Now Indiana will help you break your tobacco addiction.
No lectures,
no pressure,
just free help.
You can quit your way with the tools and support you need.
Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW today.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Matt Bear, what's the latest?
East side, northbound 465, slow in Lawrence of Penn Pike, then drags a bit to Allisonville Road. Eastbound 465, stop and go Keystone Avenue to the White River. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic after 21st Street to the North Split. And eastbound 70, slow to downtown west to Meridian, Illinois. Crash Keystone at White River. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments, plus special offer of an $887 installed patio door. Trust me, I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
38 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Coming up a little bit after 5 o'clock, the Russians getting a little squirrely with the United States. We'll have the latest on that. Tony Katz, Tuesdays with Tony. Leonard Maltin is going to call in. We're going to have a conversation about why sex comedies never get made anymore, and did Top Gun get screwed at the Oscars?
Iconic movie critic, Leonard Maltin. I'm looking forward to that. Been following his work for a long, long time.
So we got a loaded 5 o'clock hour coming up. But first, it's time for Biden Madness.
Yeah. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It is March, and it's time to get serious about your brackets. I'm not talking about the basketball tournament. I'm talking about the Biden Madness tournament. Someone is going to punch their ticket to the Final Four today, Nigel.
Oh, boy.
Now, in case you haven't been listening, what we do every day is take 2 clips from Joe Biden, play them against each other, and you, the listeners, vote on your favorite to advance in this tournament. So yesterday, we had the number 12 seed, where Joe Biden was talking about having some headache issues, and then we got an anyway, and then he's talking about his head getting cut open and not having a brain. There's a lot going on here.
And I had these terrible headaches, was diagnosed with having anyway, they had to take the top of my head off a couple times, see if I had a brain.
They had to take my head off a couple times to see if I had a brain. So that was the number 12 seed, the only upset winner in the first round. And it was taking on a very strong number 4 seed. This is where Joe Biden was trying to come up with a single word. And I can't stress that enough. Single word to describe America. We got a little gibberish. We got a story about hiking through the Himalayas with President Xi. And then he says you can't really prove it.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. And we've traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact.
None of those statements had anything to do with the other.
No.
There's a non sequitur. And I'm forever going to be perplexed at that single word. What was that single word? What do you think that?
That's the best I can do. And what was the story about President Xi? I told Rob earlier when I jumped on with him and Casey, it's kind of like the Smokey and the Bandit story. He had a long way to go and a short time to get there, and they had to get all this Coors down to the Himalayas, and it was him and President Xi, like the Bandit and the Snowman working together.
Did he go hiking in the Himalayas with President Xi?
Oh, thousands of miles. You can't prove that. So
who won?
by 64% of the vote, the number 4 seed, America in a single word, moves on in this tournament.
That's good. That's a formidable opponent right there.
Now, today's matchup. Allison looked at our matchup during the commercial break and said, this is going to be good.
Oh, boy.
This is going to be close.
Okay.
Let's start with the number 7 seed, Joe Biden. He was going to be the guy that brought America together in 2020.
That's right.
He didn't want to be divisive. And when he did a radio interview with Charlemagne the God, he said this.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Jeez.
That's a classic.
The old you ain't black. Again, you brought this up before. How did he get away with that?
Well, I mean, at that point, he was the only choice for the Democrats. He was the only one that they had that worth running. And, I mean, that's pretty much par for the course with all the folksy racism. He's had a record of that. I mean, hell, Kamala Harris, his own vice president, during the Democratic debates, accused him of racism. All but said she believed. No, she said her accuser, Biden's sexual assault accuser, should be believed and listened to. And then, boy, once Biden got that nomination, it was time to check off a few identity boxes. She was ready to go work for a guy that she just accused of being racist.
Since he got away with it and won the election, I'm surprised other people haven't tried to use that. Like, can you see Elizabeth Warren? If you ain't figuring out whether you're for Lizzie or Warren or not, then you ain't an Indian. Like, I can't believe he got away with this. So that is the number 7 seed.
If you can't figure out whether or not you're for Ron DeSantis, then you ain't white.
Right.
Just how absurd that sounds.
So you ain't black, the 7 seed, taking on the number 2 seed, words of wisdom from your president.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
I mean, just a train wreck of a thought right there on a national interview. So,
man,
voting is now live on Twitter. Go to our Twitter at Hammer and Nigel. I'm going to pin this to the top. Vote now. Follow us. Like us. The number 2 seed, anyway, against the number 7 seed, you ain't black. Vote now at Hammer and Nigel.
So my truck needed new tires, but I was dreading having to sit in a tire shop for 3 hours. That's when I heard about AAA's new mobile replacement tire service, My Pit Crew. They come to your house or your office and replace new tires. You don't have to do anything. Just pick out your tires online at AAA.com/MyPitCrew, schedule an appointment, and then sit back and relax.
Yeah, I had the My Pit Crew swing by the Hammer House, and they let you pick the tire, they will put it on your car, and they will come to your house. You don't even have to be a AAA member to use My Pit Crew, but AAA members do get a discount on their My Pit Crew tire installation. Visit AAA.com/MyPitCrew to pick out the tires and schedule your installation, and then relax. Let them come to you. Don't spend another Saturday at the tire shop. Contact the My Pit Crew team today. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
For the first time ever since opening its doors, the Indianapolis Men's Clinic is now the only men's health organization offering an intimacy guarantee. That's right. If you don't perform, you don't pay. You heard that right. Restoring intimacy is important to everyone. Helping men with a proven solution is what drives success. That's why the Indianapolis Men's Clinic stands by their intimacy guarantee. Now you will have the assurance and confidence of proven outcomes without the fear of financial loss. By using the latest technology for the treatment of ED, acoustic wave therapy uses pressure waves to open existing blood vessels, which restores spontaneity and intimacy for you and your loved one. Stop trusting companies that feed you empty promises with no results. Trust an intimacy guarantee. Trust the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic today. 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or IndianapolisMen'sClinic.com.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you lost out on $111,000 in retirement income?
Probably not great.
Yeah, so get this. 96% of Americans lose out on an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. Hey, it's Kendall and Casey.
Learn how you can avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Dummery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. If you've saved at least $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-932-9912. This free, customized analysis shows you exactly how to get the most out of your Social Security benefits, and it won't cost you a dime. Call 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912.
Most people approaching retirement age are on the lookout for ways to save money. And when it comes to saving on your Medicare prescriptions, look no further than your neighborhood Walgreens. We're a preferred network pharmacy with many plans nationwide, which could mean lower copays for you. Fill your prescriptions at a Walgreens pharmacy and start saving today. Walgreens participates with the AARP Medicare RX from United Healthcare, WellCare, and Cigna. Walgreens participates with other plans. See walgreens.com/Medicare for details.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. Periodic maintenance works, especially when it comes to your well and well pump. And C&J Well can schedule your preventive 6-point well care today, including a thorough piping exam, a switch analysis, a pressure tank check, a flow evaluation, and an AMPS test on the pump, and a bacteria sampling. Normally $450, but it's $100 off right now for $350. Keep your water source healthy and dependable. C&J Well Company. They're local, they're exceptional, they're affordable. 317-852-WELL or go to cjforwater.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, your local news from around Indianapolis. It's all happening after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Compassion in California. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden is in Monterey Park, where a mass shooting in January left 11 people dead.
I'm here on behalf of the American people to mourn with you, to pray with you, to let you know you are loved and not alone.
He's also announcing an executive order aimed at boosting the number of background checks for gun purchases and expanding the use of red flag laws, while still also urging Congress to act. 2 men accused of selling guns south of the border are charged in Florida and could face life in prison.
The 2 men, Saleh Yusuf Saleh and Yuendry Rodriguez Hilario, face multiple weapons trafficking counts. The federal ATF says it sent agents undercover to surveil the men, leading them to learn of sales of automatic weapons and grenade launchers to El Salvadorans. There were also domestic weapons transactions in Florida and in Cleveland, where both men are from.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Officials say the arrests were made after guns were delivered and assembled during a purchase staged by federal agents. Russia denies any impact with a U.S. surveillance drone in international airspace over the Black Sea, where the U.S. says the fighter jet hit the drone's propeller, causing American forces to bring down the drone.
Because of the damage, we were in a position to have to essentially crash it into the Black Sea. To my knowledge, at this point in time, the Russians have not recovered that aircraft.
Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder accuses the Russians of an unsafe and unprofessional act. The State Department calls it a brazen violation of international law, prompting the U.S. to summon the Russian ambassador. Russia claims the drone intruded into an area near Crimea, declared off limits by Russia, and that the drone made a sharp maneuver. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
He'll spend 4 decades behind bars. 38 degrees, cloudy downtown. Your low tonight is in the 20s. Those clouds should stick around as well. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A woman was shot and killed 2 years ago by her husband. Now, Parker Carlson reports that man will be behind bars for almost half a century.
42 years. That's how long Carl Davis will be in prison for killing his wife, Ashley Bell Davis. Indianapolis police say that a child heard the shooting, saying that Davis demanded money from his wife for drugs, threatening to shoot her if she didn't comply. As Davis fled the scene, he also pointed the gun at the child but didn't shoot. 2 of Davis's charges for murder were dropped, but he pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter last month. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An arrest has been made in a fatal shooting outside of a Greenwood restaurant last week. Timothy Sanito was shot and killed in the Ale Emporium parking lot. Witnesses told police an argument started between him and Marco Antonio Gonzalez before Gonzalez pulled out a gun and pulled its trigger. He was tracked down by the cops and is in the Johnson County Jail on a charge of murder. March is often a month where the weather can be unpredictable in Indiana. That's why Joe Neild with the National Weather Service says,
now's the time to be reviewing your safety plans, both at home and at your place of business, taking a moment to practice those.
This week is Severe Weather Preparedness Week, and it's a nice reminder that being prepared doesn't hurt. You may be wondering if these bank failures will impact you. Sasha Nixon reports.
What happened in 2018, 2019 is that we saw kind of a rollback of certain provisions, and specifically kind of how often these banks are checked on. If we would have had those provisions, it's likely that we would have kind of caught these issues earlier on, and we might have prevented these bank runs.
That's Christoph Kleiner, a professor at IU's Kelly School of Business, talking to Wish TV. He says it is not clear yet if or how Hoosier institutions might be influenced, though some businesses may feel the effects. This being said, he advocates against a run on banks, which could just lead to bigger problems. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Michaelis presents Password. Is basement. Okay. Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy.
Underwear.
What? It's basement.
Oh.
Really? Moldy underwear?
Well, sometimes.
Ew. I did not need to know that. Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on. Take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
Traffic on the 5s at 5:05. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, northbound 465 starting to slow. 86th Street up to 865, and we are jammed. Eastbound 465 Keystone past the White River. Inbound 65 stop and go 21st to the North Split. Eastbound 70 slow rule from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. And a crash south side. Stop 11 Road at Meridian School. A vehicle is in a ditch and crash Keystone Avenue at the White River on the north side. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's Indiana. Start your engines with Wendy's Hoosier Biscuit Bowl. A fluffy buttermilk biscuit, sausage gravy, potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a freshly cracked egg for breakfast at participating Wendy's. Limited time only. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, cold and clear, low temperatures in the low 20s. Wednesday, much warmer air starts to move into the area, mostly sunny skies. High temperatures right around 50 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
And we got a fun hour coming up. Iconic movie critic Leonard Maltin calling the show. Talk a little bit about the Oscars. I want to get his opinion on why the Oscars and the ratings were so low. It's like a third rated lowest of all time. Although it was higher than last year. The Oscars were 12% higher than last year, but it's still like the third lowest of all time. It's like
right.
It's like the Hogshead administration celebrating that the homicide numbers are down. Well, it's not a record year. It's kind of like the opposite of that, sort of, or so along the same lines. And I thought it was interesting that he's going to preview some of the summer blockbusters that are coming up in the movie theaters that are going to get released. I did think it was interesting how Indy native Brendan Fraser won Best Actor for his role in The Whale, but as I understand it, Leonard Maltin did not like The Whale. So I want to know how he reconciles that. Does he think he deserved best actor while hating the movie? So that's at 5:20, and then at 5:30 after the news, we're going to talk to Tony Katz, get the very latest on the Silicon Valley Bank situation. But right now, I am trying to figure out if this, like, how big a deal is this Russian fighter jet colliding with an American drone? I'm trying to figure out how big a deal this is, because this, I think could be the first time since the height of the Cold War that a United States aircraft was actually brought down by a Russian warplane.
Now, when you say aircraft, we're talking about a drone.
It's a drone. No humans were killed. There was nobody in it. Yeah, it's a drone. It's one of those Reaper drones.
So according to the United States Defense Department, the jet in question was one of two Russian Su-27s flying in tandem when one of the wings of the Russian jet clipped the United States drone and forced it to land in the Black Sea west of Crimea.
Crash, not land, yeah.
Right.
They crashed this thing.
The Russian jet was headed toward Crimea and landed there after the incident. It was fine. Didn't have that much damage to it. Now, this is the statement from the United States. Quote, at approximately 7:03 a.m., one of the Russian aircraft struck the propeller of the drone, I'm just going to call it the drone, causing the United States forces to have to bring the drone down in international waters. Several times before the collision, the Russian jet dumped fuel on and flew in front of the drone in a reckless, environmentally unsound, and unprofessional manner. So this tells me right here, Nige, the Russians are just screwing with the United States. They saw that it was a United States drone, and they were screwing with it. The statement from the United States goes on, quote, this incident demonstrates a lack of competence and addition to being unsafe and unprofessional. This incident follows a pattern of dangerous actions by Russian pilots while interacting with the United States and allied aircraft over international airspace.
I love how they threw in it was a reckless, environmentally unsound and unprofessional manner.
Isn't that just like the United States at this point? Isn't that just who we are at this point?
It was environmentally unsound, the way the Russians were dumping fuel out all over our drone and contaminating the environment. They're almost more worried about the environment than they are the drone.
Are we sure it was fuel? Did they have some, Russian pilots drop a deuce or something on it? Like, are we 100% sure it's fuel? Because this is the Russians just screwing with us. They see how weak we are right now.
Yeah, they do, and they claim that the drone cut them off, basically made it unsafe, radical, reckless, sudden maneuver, and that's why the propeller got clipped and it crashed. But again, I can't. I might be wrong here, but I mean, this is the first time since the Cold War a U.S. aircraft, and when I say U.S. aircraft, I mean a drone. It's not the same thing. If this was a F-16 and somebody died, it's a whole.
Now we got ourselves a ball game.
That's a ball game. But it sounds like Russians saying that, it's like flying way too close to Crimea, and that's our airspace, and the thing made a crazy maneuver, and we clipped it, and that's it. And I love the United States response is, we're calling the Russian ambassador right away. We're going to get him on the phone.
I'm sure more sanctions will come, and they'll really start behaving themselves after more sanctions get put into place.
I don't know if this is a big deal. I don't know if this is like this could escalate. I mean, that's the kind of thing that, a Russian fighter jet downs a drone, then we down one of their drones, then all of a sudden they get into a confrontation with an actual fighter pilot, the United States Navy or Air Force, and then that is the ball game.
Would the Russians be doing this if literally anybody else in the country were the president of the United States right now.
The Russians wouldn't be in Ukraine if Trump was was president right now.
I'm even going to suggest a few Democrats. Let's say that Joe Biden has to step down for health reasons or the fact that he's got early stage dementia or whatever. If anybody else were the president of the United States right now, do you think the Russians would be as squirrely as they are right now? I think it would be a little different. Even some Democrats would be a little tougher than Joe Biden is right now. Not many of them, certainly not folks in the Biden administration.
I think Democrats love it, and I think Republicans love the fact that we're giving so much money to Ukraine to fight the Russians and in investing in the military-industrial complex. They love war. They care more about our borders than they do, or they care more about Ukraine's borders than they do the southern border.
Somehow the Democratic Party has been taken over by the super woke, super progressive, radical side. There are quite a few traditional Democrats, right? And we've been talking about that in recent weeks. People like Woody Harrelson, people like Bill Maher, those are traditional liberals, traditional Democrats. They're not the super woke lunatic types, but it's the super ridiculous folks that have all the power right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because I think a lot of countries know that the clock is ticking. They've got about a year and a half here to try to get away with as much as they possibly can, just in case Joe Biden doesn't win his election again. So that's a good question on whether or not this is going to escalate or not. We just don't know that yet. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break here. Check in with Matt Baer at the WIBC Traffic Center. Matt Baer, any drones coming down from the skies where you're at right now?
No drones yet, but we do have a bridge busted north of Lafayette right now. That's closed both directions of I-65 at US 231. Good to know for morning rush, because that could still be shut down in those northbound lanes. Inbound 65 stop and go 21st Street to Meridian Penn, and northbound 465 east side slows Penn Pike to I-69. Traffic sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's the big spring sale at Mattress Firm. Save up to $700 today. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select purchases and spring into better sleep. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Oh, we got a good one going in Biden madness right now. 54 to 45. It's pretty close right now. Get those votes in. We've got it pinned at the top of our Twitter at Hammer and Nigel.
Okay, who's leading?
Right now, anyway, has a 54.7% to You Ain't Blacks.
Oh, wow.
45.3.
Wow.
So we got a ball game here, kids. Right. Vote now. Tony Katz on the way. Leonard Maltin next.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
This March, take a shot at college hoops with a no-sweat bet on FanDuel Sportsbook. And it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account like I have. Right now, all customers can tip off the tourney with a no-sweat bet. You just got to sign into your FanDuel Sportsbook account to claim yours today. Or if you are new to FanDuel, go to FanDuel.com/WIBC to get in on the action. And then you can bet on everything from the money lines to point spreads to that 5 versus 12 seed matchup you've been eyeing. I got some money on IU to win the whole thing. Might be a long shot. That's okay. I'm having fun. All on an app that's safe, all on an app that's secure and super easy to use. And there's no better place to bet the tournament than FanDuel Sportsbook. Go to FanDuel.com/WIBC to join now. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 plus and present in Indiana. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus bet $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9 with it.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and autopay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
My drinking was out of control. It was tearing my family apart and controlling my life. I had a choice, and I chose Landmark Recovery's addiction treatment program. They showed me a proven pathway to recovery. What will you choose?
Choose life. Choose Landmark Recovery. Visit landmarkrecovery.com to learn more.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get 3 rooms of carpet Zero Res clean for only $149. That's real spring cleaning with Zero Res. 388-5141 or online at zeroresindy.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here, and we have a special guest on the drivehubler.com hotline who has one of the coolest gigs ever. He gets to watch movies, talk about movies, review movies. He is iconic movie critic and also star of Gremlins 2, Leonard Maltin.
Yeah!
Mr. Maltin, it's an honor. How are you?
I'm fine. Don't overstate my case where Gremlins 2 is concerned.
Mr. Movie Guide here. We got a lot of ground to cover. You have a weekly podcast called Maltin on Movies, available on Apple and wherever you get to your podcast. We're going to get to some summer blockbusters, a preview there. First of all, I want to start with the feel-good story of the Oscars, and it hits home for us because Brendan Fraser, who got Best Actor, was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. I want you to comment on the trajectory of his career and how he disappeared for a while, and now he's back on top, and just talk about Brendan for a moment in the movie The Whale.
Well, it's an interesting case because he gives an absolutely startling performance in a movie I couldn't stand.
Wow.
So he is entirely worthy of that award.
Okay.
I cannot say the same for The Whale.
Why didn't you like The Whale?
Well, first off, it's very hard to watch.
Very depressing.
If you have any empathy at all, it's painful to watch this man who is, to use the term everyone does, morbidly obese, and is in such obvious physical as well as emotional pain. It's hard to watch, and I don't think that it does itself any favors. Actually, it's based on a stage play, which is obvious to anyone who sees the film.
Yeah.
That it was a one-set stage play, which is the last thing you'd expect from Darren Aronofsky, the director of films like Black Swan.
Was there any chance that Top Gun was going to get that top prize, or Avatar for that matter? I know Tom Cruise and James Cameron didn't even show up to the Oscars over the weekend, but was there any chance in your mind those movies had a shot?
I thought everything has a shot. There's almost 10,000 members of the Academy now, and they are not a monolith. They don't all get together under a big tent and make a group decision. It's 10,000 people making individual decisions. So it can go in any direction. And Top Gun is a film that I don't know anyone who didn't like. It's one of the most purely entertaining movies of last year or any year.
And Leonard, with the success of that movie, and again, this is Jason Hammer, by the way, with the success of Top Gun Maverick and getting butts in the theater, people going out to the theater to see it, why is it that the Oscars have such a low rating? Because we saw the numbers come in of the Oscars over the weekend, very low ratings, but it feels like more and more people are going back to watch movies. Why is there such a disconnect?
Well, that disconnect has been happening for a long, long time, and it was always there to some degree, because the Oscars are award what we used to call prestige pictures, and not box office success, and that gulf has only widened in recent years. But Top Gun made it to the finals with the Best Picture nominee. So it could have happened.
Did the right movie win, in your opinion? What did you think of Everything Everywhere All at Once, which took home a ton of different awards, including Best Picture?
Well, I thought it was audacious and original and provocative and fun at times. I thought it was 20 minutes too long, but then I thought that about almost everything I saw last year.
And anything else surprise you before we move on to some of the summer blockbusters? Like, I have not seen Tar, but I did hear that Cate Blanchett's performance was incredible and the movie was very good. Did it surprise you? Did that not, any surprises from the Oscars for you?
Until they open that envelope, Nigel, you don't know what the answer is going to be.
Sure.
You just don't know. It can go in any direction.
Well, let's move ahead to the summer blockbusters here, Leonard, because I'm looking at some of these movies that are coming out this summer, and I don't know if there's that mega movie that's coming out. I know the Indiana Jones movie is going to bring back a lot of feelings for people from back in the day. Of course, there's always going to be superhero movies that come out. What's the headline for the summer blockbusters this upcoming year?
The headline is, if you liked it before, you got it again. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Fast X, as in Roman numeral X, the live-action Little Mermaid, which no one asked for, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the Transformers movie, Extraction 2, Indiana Jones, of course, a new Insidious movie, the Mission Impossible movie with Tom Cruise. Been there, done that, but that's what people want to see, apparently.
Are you intrigued by Scorsese's movie, Roosevelt, at all?
Of course I am. It's an unusual choice for casting Leonardo DiCaprio as FDR, but Scorsese is a filmmaker who is always worth seeing. Even if I don't love every movie he makes, it's made with such care and intelligence and imagination.
Is DiCaprio, I think, in my opinion, is DiCaprio the biggest movie star in the world, or is it Tom Cruise? Or are they on two different kind of genres and levels?
Well, it's an apple and an orange there.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is a movie star in Mission Impossible movies. Do we want to see him play FDR? Right. It's a case now where the subject matter is the star of the movie. Even a successful Marvel movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's not a Chris Pratt movie. It's a Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Leonard, I grew up watching a lot of these kind of raunchy teen comedies, right? I grew up in the Porky's, Revenge of the Nerds era. And then when I got older, like in college, the American Pie movies were out and they were popular. Is that genre dead with the current state of this country, where everybody walks on eggshells, everybody's afraid to do something? Have we seen the end of like the raunchy sex comedy?
Everything is cyclical. And I have a feeling that at some point, somebody's going to have the nerve to do it and to buck the political correctness that engulfs us all. And that person may end up making a whole truck full of money.
He's Mr. Movie Guide, iconic film critic Leonard Maltin. Tell us real quick about your weekly podcast, Maltin on Movies. I know you do a live chat on Facebook every Sunday. Can you just talk about your shows for a second?
Well, yes, on Fridays we post a new edition of Maltin on Movies, which is a 1-hour interview show. We just had a great chat with Jamie Lee Curtis 2 weeks ago. Sometimes we have people who are famous, sometimes people you may not have heard of, but who are interesting people to do with all facets of the movie business. We've interviewed Jordan Peele and Amy Adams and Mel Brooks and Angela Lansbury, all sorts of people, and we have 7 years worth of backlog still posted online for free.
Wow.
And then on Sundays we do a live stream, which is very casual, my daughter and me, and we respond in real time to people sending in questions.
Mr. Movie Guide, Leonard Maltin, it's an honor to speak with you. We've been following your work all our lives, and best of luck to you in this new year and with all your podcasts and your shows. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah. You're more of a movie guy than I am, but I thought it was really interesting what he said there. Whoever's got the guts to come out with like the raunchy comedy is going to make a lot of money.
A lot of money. All right. And by the way, his cameo in Gremlins 2, which I referenced in the beginning of the segment, classic, because he hated the first Gremlins. His review of the first Gremlins was awful, and he's friends with Joe Dante, and Dante put him in the second movie, where in fact he gets eaten alive by the Gremlins in his cameo. Is pretty funny.
All right, so we've got Tony Katz coming up next. Tuesdays with Tony. Right now, let's take a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He'll go behind bars for a long time. Partly cloudy, 38 degrees on the circle. Your radar is clear, and a low of 20 degrees is what you can expect tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. The Indy man responsible for his wife's death 2 years ago was given 42 years in prison. Parker Carlson reports.
Ashley Bell Davis was found shot on her porch back in 2021. She died in the hospital, and police began to investigate her husband, Carl Davis. They spoke to a child who witnessed the shooting, saying they heard an argument start between the couple where Davis demanded money for drugs. Then there was the gunshot. Before he left, Davis pointed the gun at the child but didn't hurt them. This past February, Davis pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter, and on Tuesday, he was sentenced to 42 years in prison. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Ohio is suing railroad company Norfolk Southern over the toxic train derailment in East Palestine last month. Governor Mike DeWine says a fund has to be established by the railroad.
We need to obviously work with them to make sure that everything is covered for people in East Palestine in the future.
Attorney General Dave Yost announced the state is seeking damages, civil penalties, and a declarative judgment that Norfolk Southern is responsible. The Pentagon is calling Russia's interception of a U.S. drone over the Black Sea unprofessional and unsafe.
One of the Russian Su-27 aircraft struck the propeller of the MQ-9, causing U.S. forces to have to bring the MQ-9 down in international waters.
Russian jets forced down a U.S. drone flying in international airspace this morning. Brigadier General Pat Ryder said these types of aircraft have been flying over the region for some time, and intercepts aren't uncommon. With this week being Severe Weather Preparedness Week, Joe Neild with the National Weather Service says a lot of being prepared is knowing your surroundings.
I'm in a position where I've reviewed my plans. Wherever I am at that time, I know where my safe place is. I know where I'm going to go.
He says it's not uncommon that tornadoes can happen in March in Indiana. The Colts are trading their 5-time Pro Bowl cornerback Stephon Gilmore. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported this afternoon he's headed to the Dallas Cowboys. With traffic at 5:31, here's Matt Baer.
North side crash eastbound 465 Keystone Avenue, and right now the left lane is blocked. Traffic stopped to Westfield Boulevard. Eastbound 70 crash Hancock County about a mile after Mount Comfort Road. A couple of right lanes are blocked with stop-and-go traffic. Westbound lanes also bad for Mount Comfort Road for about a mile to Cumberland Road. And then we have a crash on the south side. It is Stomp 11 Road at Meridian School. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, cold and clear, low temperatures in the low 20s. Wednesday, much warmer air starts to move into the area, mostly sunny skies. High temperatures right around 50 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Tony! Hey, Tony! Hey.
Pretty boy, Tony.
It's Tuesday with Tony Katz on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Don't want to keep Tony waiting.
Tony Katz, how are you?
I'm solid. What's going on with you?
Man, I heard your show yesterday. Great conversation with economist Dr. Will on what happened with the Silicon Valley Bank, one of the biggest stories happening in the United States right now. What is your overall assessment? How did we get here? And is this a bailout from the Biden administration?
I don't see how we don't see it as bailout. I think that people will, on a very technical level, try and push away from that, disagree with that, say, how dare you about that? No, it's not the same. If you hear Joe Biden say that we are going to protect depositors, whether they were insured or not, and we're always going to do that, it's actually a conversation of de facto bailouts everywhere all the time, no matter what. It wouldn't matter what a bank failed for, whether it be something cataclysmic or their own malfeasance. It's that we're going to cover everyone regardless of insurance or no insurance, regardless of the wrongdoing, and that's going to be the way it is. I'm not so sure we should be happy about that. It was Ross Sorkin over at CNBC asking, have we become a bailout nation? And the answer seems to be yes.
And Tony, yesterday when I saw Joe Biden go up to the podium and deliver his remarks in regards to this, I'm not even trying to be a smartass here. Do you think Joe Biden has any sort of understanding about what's going on? Because in his speech, one, he mentions that he doesn't really know what's going on, but he was awful quick to blame Donald Trump and, oh, by the way, capitalism sucks.
I'm not sure what you mean. He changed the what conversation do you think he changed?
I'm not saying he changed the conversation. I'm saying he doesn't understand what's going on. But yet, for somebody who claims that they're going to look into it and find the cause of what happened here, why would you be so quick to blame Donald Trump, a guy that was president 3 years ago, and at the same time throw in a line about capitalism? It just seems like he has no clue of what he's talking about, and it's obvious.
It's obvious that certain things are done by the political left because they move the people on the political left. It's the standard hip check kind of response that gets your people all sorts of excited and prevents people from thinking any further. Oh, I blame Trump. Oh, you look at Dodd-Frank. Okay, that must be it. When that isn't it, and more experts are discussing the failure of the internals of the bank to notice the problems around them. And then where were the regulators looking at this? And with this bailout conversation, as we're seeing, everybody being made whole, whether they were insured or not, we don't ask the question, what's going to happen to these regulators who didn't do their job day in and day out when it was clear going back a couple of weeks ago when the executives of Silicon Valley Bank were selling $4.4 million of their stock, when they were giving bonuses to people, and you saw the institutional investors earlier last week saying this is a problem. Where were they to say, whoa, up here, sell all your bonds, you got to make this whole?
Tony, you've been covering this kind of stuff for a long time. You've been following it very closely. What's the statute of limitations on blaming the previous president? Because Joe Biden's 3 years into this bad boy, and whether it's what's happening in East Palestine, whether it's the SVB situation, everything goes back to Donald Trump.
I clearly remember when Barack Obama stubbed his toe in the third year of his first term and blamed it on James Knox Polk.
Polk me, polk you.
You know, that's where the expression "polk me, polk you" comes from, actually. So the idea of blaming earlier administrations, well, it's not about a statute of limitations. It's about only if you want to. Really, it's just about want.
One more thing about this SVB thing. Like, did you think, or did Dr. Will think there was actually going to be a run on banks everywhere, like this contagion idea, or did you think that was even possible? Or that was the billionaires trying to strong arm the Federal Reserve into bailing them out?
Well, there's an interesting argument that was made at the Quick about contagion, which is the idea that if these people, these tech companies that utilize Silicon Valley Bank, weren't able to get access to their cash, vendors wouldn't be paid. If vendors couldn't be paid, their people couldn't be paid. If their people couldn't be paid, and it went down the line as a very, very serious thing. It was a level of collapse that was going to happen there, and that was the issue. Then came the second part of, well, if this bank is having a problem, and this bank is connected to that bank, and the knee bone is connected to the hip bone, how many more banks could have this issue? And you saw First Republic Bank on Monday, a regional bank, go down 60% in its stock value, and was back up earlier today plus 50% because, well, that bank's not specifically having an issue. I think the contagion conversation is a legitimate one of concern. It doesn't mean it's a legitimate one to act off of. Those are two different things, and that's what they do. Yeah. They say it's a concern, so we have to act. Maxine Waters talking about the fact that we had to act fast. Did we? Are you sure? We had to act fast to ensure that investors are going to be made whole. Now, there's some question about whether that's the case, but if you were an investor in Silicon Valley Bank and the investment went south, that's the way it goes. I invested all of my money into Hammer's late evening apparel. It was all about frilly negligees and lingerie for men, and I said, this is genius.
And it's edible. Tony,
went to crap.
It's edible, my friend. That's the best part about it. You can save some for now. You can save some for later. It's edible.
Well, I clearly didn't read that in the prospectus. And that's why my investment went to pot. But that's the way it should go. And there's a real question of whether that's going to happen here. And that's what makes this ugly. I've asked the question, I wonder if the government would have worked as fast to keep this bank afloat if it was named East Palestine, Ohio Valley Bank.
Not at all. Tuesdays with Tony Katz here on the Hammer and Nigel show. I heard you play that clip of Trump earlier this morning on your show. Trump attacking DeSantis. Florida was doing just fine without Ron DeSantis. Charlie Crist was better.
That's not a bad impression, man.
Thank you very much. I've been working on it for years. Is this a winning strategy for Trump? What is he doing?
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't understand the strategy at all or in any way. It's not a strategy that I would have utilized. If you want to go after DeSantis regarding policy, it makes sense. If you want to say, he's not that great, Charlie Crist was good too. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. And there are a couple of reports talking about how Trump is surging. The people I talk to, they are actually seeing it. That there is an excitement that exists for Trump. And then when I think he does stuff like this, that's kind of a self-inflicted wound is how I discussed it today. It really is just like it's kicking yourself in the face. There's no place for this. He looks fragile. He looks scared. He looks like he's flailing in this video. Doesn't make any sense.
And Tony, in regards to Ron DeSantis, I was curious as to how national media would portray him. I thought once he officially declared, then things would turn ugly. But I think it's starting before then, because I see Joe Scarborough, who last time I checked has never played baseball, going on his program this morning, ripping on the way Ron DeSantis threw a baseball during an interview he did with Brian Kilmeade. Now, mind you, that Ron DeSantis was the captain of his college baseball team, but all of a sudden, Morning Joe is trying to critique the way he throws a baseball.
Right.
Is this the kind of crap, this low-hanging fruit crap, we can expect for the next year and a half?
Yes, but you knew that. You knew that. If the argument is, look at how he throws a baseball, and the argument isn't, how come women who say they're men or men who say they're women aren't playing baseball, and why aren't baseball players dating transgender men or women more often? Of course this is the kind of stuff that they're going to do. It's sad, it's pathetic, it's weak, and they got to fill 24 hours a day.
And the thing is, it wasn't bad. He was playing soft toss in a sports coat. It's not like he's going to cock back and fire a heater as hard as he can to Brian freaking Kilmeade.
You think Kilmeade can't take it? Is that what you're saying? Kilmeade to fall down?
I think Fauci has a better throw than Ron DeSantis. That's what I think.
I disagree with that.
You're just the worst.
What's coming up on your big shows tomorrow, Tony?
Well, first, I'm still processing the fact that the Indianapolis Colts have paid $4 bajillion for a kicker, and trying to figure out what to do with that. So that is a bit on the list for tomorrow. And then we're still going to see where a bit of fallout is with all of this. And then, of course, we're going to take a look at what Biden said about guns there in California.
I'm telling you, that kicker is going to be worth every dollar, Tony. When the Colts get beat 38-9, you won't be able to blame the kicker a least bit next year.
You're the worst kind of person.
He's on social media. He's at Tony Katz Radio on Facebook. TK, thank you.
Always.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you lost out on $111,000 in retirement income?
Probably not great.
Yeah, so get this. 96% of Americans lose out on an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. Hey, it's Kendall and Casey.
Learn how you can avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Dummery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. If you've saved at least $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-932-9912. This free, customized analysis shows you exactly how to get the most out of your Social Security benefits, and it won't cost you a dime. Call 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912.
Pat Sullivan here. The floodgates are about to open in Indiana as spring approaches. Do you know if your sump pump is working properly? A sump pump is vital to protecting your home from heavy rains and rising waters that do nothing but leave damage in your home. During the month of March, my friends at Hope Plumbing will buy back your old sump pump for $300 with the purchase of an upgraded sump pump and a new battery backup system. Call Hope Plumbing today at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Soaking in a hot tub full of Epsom salts is the absolute best way to minimize everyday aches and pains. And we know all about Epsom salts at Royal Spa. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs on the market that can safely and effectively use Epsom salts. Made right here in Indiana, Royal Spa hot tubs are the highest quality hot tubs on the market. Visit any one of our 3 Indianapolis locations or visit royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
When the Howard Bailey team helps you prepare for retirement, helps you come up with a vision and a goal, they're going to deliver to you a customized framework that's going to allow you to create meaning in retirement, how you embrace your purpose and live it every day with Howard Bailey Financial.
Working with the Howard Bailey team is a giant step forward in your mission to live the sweet life in retirement. Howard Bailey is a growing firm. They've got a youthful, energetic founder and a cutting-edge planning process designed to help you transition to whatever you want the next 10, 20 years of your life to be. Full retirement, work optional, living in Indy, moving to Florida, whatever you want. If you want to live your best life in retirement, let the team from Howard Bailey customize a plan for you. Go see the Howard Bailey difference. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Skyworks Equipment Rental of Indianapolis has immediate openings for experienced parts coordinators, heavy equipment mechanics, CDL drivers, and outside sales reps. Full-time with medical, disability, PTO, 401k, and more. Apply today at skyworksllc.com/jobs. Skyworks, building America from the ground up. Woodard, Emhart, Henry, Reeves, and Wagner. Over 140 years specializing exclusively in patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright law and litigation. On the web at uspatent.com.
It's the big spring sale at Mattress Firm. Save up to $700 today. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select purchases and spring into better sleep.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Amber Northeast side, eastbound 465 crash at Keystone Avenue. This is blocking the left lane. Little bit of a delay there at Hancock County. Here it is. Eastbound 70, about 2 miles after Mountain Comfort Road to the east of Mountain Comfort Road. Eastbound 70 is closed, okay, because of a crash. And then we have another crash at Mountain Comfort Road, eastbound 70, and that looks to be on the right side of the interstate. So right now, traffic is backed up for Mountain Comfort Road for about a mile. And if you make it past that exit, you will run into the closure. So you don't want that. Use US 40 instead. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
38 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
An entire hour of the Hammer and Nigel show coming up after 6 o'clock with details that show that Bidenflation is still running wild.
Like Hulkamania circa 1985. What you gonna do, brother, when Biden mania runs wild on you?
Oh, man. It's hitting me most at the grocery store. I don't know about you.
It's travel with me, too.
Travel? Yeah.
Man, we want to take a vacation, and damn, airfare is just so expensive
crazy
right now.
So we'll get into that coming up after 6 o'clock. I did take notice of this story in Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone is a left-wing propaganda rag at this point. Occasionally, they still write about music, which is a novel concept. Rolling Stone ranked the 100 greatest heavy metal songs of all time.
Anything from Milli Vanilli in there?
I didn't see Milli Vanilli's name. Here is their top pick. I know you're not like a metal guy. See if you can take a wild guess who this is. This is their number one heavy metal pick of all time.
Is that Ozzy?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know the song, but I know that's Ozzy.
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath.
By Black Sabbath. The name of the song is actually called Black Sabbath by the band Black Sabbath.
That's kind of a power move.
I'm not sure.
This is number one?
I don't even think that's the best Sabbath song. I mean, Iron Man, War Pigs, Paranoid. So that's who Rolling Stone has at number one. Number two.
I know this one.
Master of Puppets, Metallica. Probably one of my all-time favorite metal songs of all time. But they've got him at number two.
Like, does Rolling Stone magazine not like when Metallica became famous? Like Inner Sandman and Sad But True, that type of Metallica.
The Black Album, a lot of their traditional earlier fans, the fans of Ride the Lightning and Kill 'Em All and Injustice for All said they sold out. But that's when they started really
making money.
Master of Puppets. Yeah. And then number three on Rolling Stone's 100 greatest heavy metal songs of all time. Are you a big Motorhead fan?
Can't say that I am, Nige. Can't say that I am.
More of the Hammer and Nigel show after 6 o'clock.
spring in Indy. And since 2001, Rhino Shield has been covering Indiana homes and businesses. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
And Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business owners, you too can get the 25-year protection of Rhino Shield right now.